Hey, what's up guys? Drip Drop here, and today we're here with the annual Christmas special, and today we're going to be doing Spongebob ranking every single episode from the classic seasons, known as seasons 1 through 3. Now, some people will try to tell you that season 4 is a classic season, and they're lying to you. It's not trash, it's not horrible, but it's not up with the OG 3, so do not come in my comment section saying that shit. Krusty Towers is pretty fire though, and it's an S tier episode, and it's the only episode after the movie that I would say goes into S tier. But I mean, we all know what SpongeBob is. We know who SpongeBob is. It's a goated show. It's a goated characters, goated jokes. It's just such a fire show. I really don't want this intro to be longer than it needs to be. My criteria is like characterization, like aesthetics, visuals, plot, gags, jokes, funny twists, just, you know, the whole shebang. Just what makes a good viewing experience overall. So without further ado, let's just kind of get in here. I really don't want this to be longer than it needs to be. We got a big video to get into, so I got some hot takes, I got some cold takes. If you want to find out what they are, then let's get into the list. A 1, a 2, a skidlet diddlet do. Coming in at dead last, number 117, we got The Bully. Now, I've always never liked this episode at all, but as I've gotten older, I hate it even more. Like, just the whole idea that this motherfucker Flats will just not leave SpongeBob alone. SpongeBob didn't do nothing wrong to this dude at all. He brought him flowers when he got in that car accident. He's just trying to be a helpful friend, and he's still just being an asshole. Like, I get the joke that, like, oh, SpongeBob's scared, whatever. But, like, there's just so many things wrong with this episode that just, like, I just don't feel like SpongeBob deserves it at all. Like, maybe if SpongeBob was being annoying as fuck at first, maybe it would still feel that way. Again, I still don't feel like that's enough of a reason to get his ass beat. But, like, him being friends with Patrick. Like, Flash should be like, oh, okay, this is Patrick's best friend. I'm cool with Patrick. All right, never mind. I'll let it slide. SpongeBob could have went to Sandy, to Mr. Krabs, to Larry. Bro could have went to anybody to help deal with Flash. You know how quick this episode would have been over if he just called up Sandy instead of Patrick? Like, Sandy, please help me. Someone's trying to beat my ass. Sandy would have been over there faster than a fucking, what does she be saying? A jackrabbit in a hot griddle in the middle of August? Whatever she says. She would have been there fucking, like Roadrunner. But no, he didn't call nobody besides Patrick's dumb little fat lazy ass, which he don't even be doing shit anyway. And then at the very end of the episode, SpongeBob don't even solve the problem. It's just because he's a sponge, getting his ass beat didn't matter anyway. But it's like, Flash still got to beat his ass. So it's like, I feel like Flash didn't even get, like, reprimanded. He got tired from punching SpongeBob, so he passed out. Like, that is not enough of a punishment. And then Mrs. Puff want to get mad at SpongeBob? Like, are you serious? And then apparently this dude's at home beating his dad's ass. Like, whose all ass does Flats be kicking, bro? Like, this is an abusive man. Get him off this child's programming. And then on top of that, I see some people be like, oh, well, SpongeBob accidentally captured Flats in the Sandy's Rocket episode, and that's why he wants to beat up SpongeBob. Bro, that was a whole 2 seasons ago. You think the artists were remembering that? Ain't no way. That's part of the canon. That's dumb as hell. Up next is I'm Was Stupid, and this was what a lot of people probably thought was going to be the worst episode on my list. This is what I thought the worst episode was going to be, but I ended up disliking Bully just a little bit more. But that doesn't mean that this episode gets a slide, because this episode fucking sucks too. By far the worst episode of season 2, and one of the worst episodes in the entire show, even considering like shitty-ass new SpongeBob. Like, this episode is still as bad as some of the shittier new episodes, right? So, like, it doesn't even get a slide for being a classic episode. Like, this shit sucks. So Patrick is so fucking stupid that he forgets that SpongeBob is pretending to be stupid and starts disrespecting his fucking friend, his best friend, his childhood friend, all to get some appeasement from his parents. Loser activity. And then SpongeBob's over here trying to be a good friend, trying to make himself look dumb for Patrick, and Patrick uses it as an example. That's why I just don't be fucking with Patrick, because you give him a fucking inch and he goes 10 miles, bro. Like, you had your chance to be cool and you just had to be an asshole about it. And then joke's on you, dumbass, pink-ass, dumbass motherfucker, because guess what? Those wasn't even your parents. Dumbass. Janet, Marty? Who are you people? Dumbass. Don't even know your own parents. Fuck you, Patrick. Coming out 115, we got As Seen on TV. And Spongebob just be pissing me the fuck off in this episode. You were born wanting to be a fry cook. You love cooking Krabby Patties. It is your job. It is your passion. It's your career. You've been Employee of the Month for 30 months in a row in the fucking SpongeBob movie. Or wasn't it 300 months in a row? It was something insane. Like, it's his favorite thing ever in the world. Cooking Krabby Patties and jellyfishing. And then all of a sudden, he's in some shitty little fucking commercial, and now he thinks he's a fucking movie star. SpongeBob, you have never wanted to be a movie star in your entire life. Never, ever, ever have you ever wanted that. Now all of a sudden you're gonna become an asshole, and this episode makes him so dumb. Like, it literally makes him so stupid. Like, I know SpongeBob's supposed to be naive, but he ain't a fucking retard. In this episode, they actually just made him fucking stupid. Like, he can't hear, like, you're really about to sit here and tell me he can't hear a whole restaurant full of grown adult people telling him that they don't want to hear him sing? Like, you're really about to sit here and tell me that SpongeBob can't hear that? His body is made of holes. One of those holes is leading to his fucking eardrums. You're gonna sit here and tell me he can't hear that shit? Dumb. What a dumb premise of an episode. Now, I will admit, it is kind of funny seeing SpongeBob, the best time to wear a striped sweater. But he's a dumbass. Like, they made him as dumb as Patrick. Like, SpongeBob is not this fucking stupid. Up next, we got Missing Identity, and I honestly don't have a lot to say about this one. This one is just really lackluster and really boring. It's one that I just kind of just play on my phone if this episode comes on. Like, I just don't really care about it, but it doesn't actively piss me off or anything. Like, it doesn't do anything horrible. It's just really boring and just really lacking any substance. It just keeps replaying the same scenario over and over and over again. He's trying to, like, it goes on for like 2-3 minutes of him just constantly just falling around in his house, trying to remember what happened. And then he starts diving in a dumpster, and then Patrick's dumbass can't remember, oh yeah, it's on the back of your shirt. Yeah, SpongeBob, it's right there. Like, you really can't remember that, Patrick, you dumbass? And then the whole twist of the episode is pretty funny with, like, oh, he just put his shirt on backwards. Like, that is kind of creative. But the whole episode just ain't funny or interesting. I do like the beginning and the end. I do like the diner, like, as a set piece, like, as an atmospheric-wise. The diner is actually really cool, and I really like the vibe of the diner. And I like at the end how he's telling this whole story about a name tag, and then he says, thanks, Debbie. And it's like, oh, I'm not Debbie. I borrowed someone else's uniform. And then it ends with the bow, wow, wow, fucking noise effect. Like, that's pretty funny. But the rest of the episode is just me. So, yeah, Missing Identity, it's missing the mark for me. Oh, and would you look at that? We're already at another episode of Patrick being a fucking bitch-ass friend. Oh, what do you know? So Dumped, I just don't like watching. It just makes me sad. I've been through a lot of heartbreaks, and seeing SpongeBob just so happy, loving, caring, sweet young man go through this shit is horrible. Why would I want to watch someone go through one of the worst pains, if not the worst pain you can go through as a human? Like, this shit is just not enjoyable to watch. However, with that being said, this episode has one of my favorite jokes of all time, and it does have a good ending, of course, but I love the Larry and Jerry joke, bro. That shit is so funny when he whips him out of his pocket, like, compared to Jerry, like, bro, that shit is so funny. It's just like a realistic live snail in this motherfucker's hands. Like, oh my god, that's so funny. And then the end where, like, obviously you find out that Gary just wanted a cookie from Patrick's dumb, fat, stupid ass, and it was just in his pocket the whole time. I thought what we had was special. Like, fuck you, Patrick. Don't ever come to my house for laundry again. Go fuck yourself. L-ass friend. Hate this friend. Shitty-ass friend. But, no, and then I also like the part where Rex would never leave me, and he's immediately on the bus as soon as SpongeBob turns around. Like, bro, why do these animals hate SpongeBob so much? What the fuck did he do to that worm? But yeah, no, this is just a pretty sad episode to watch, but it does have some funny moments, and it also is the source material for that SpongeBob creepypasta like meme that was kind of going around. like the reboot thing, or like that scene of SpongeBob where like his face turns into like a scary ass little swirl. That frame comes from this episode, so that's a cool little bit of trivia. Coming in at 112, we got the sponge who could fly. And the actual SpongeBob portion of this episode, no hyperbole, is the worst SpongeBob episode. Period. It's so horrible. This shit fucking sucks. Like, I'm not even talking about classic SpongeBob either. Like, throughout all of SpongeBob, this episode fucking blows. However, this episode also has some fantastic patchy scenes, and it has the cool, like, Lost episode, like, walk cycle animation with the music. Like, that part's super cool. But the actual, like, SpongeBob episode, it fucking blows. This shit fucking sucks. Like, it's just so awful. Like, just the idea of this whole town just hating on this dude. He finally accomplishes his goal, and they're still hating. Like, y'all are weird. Go do something. But the patchy segments with, like, the playground, and he's, like, getting punched in the fucking ribs as he's trying to do the merry-go-rounds. It's really fun, and he finds the buried treasure, and Steven Hillenburg himself is, like, the guy in the chest. It's just really cool. And, yeah, it's just, like, the patchy stuff, like, SpongeBob betrayed us! Like, that whole part is super cool, and like I said, the walk cycle is super cool. It'd be, like, it's just such a memorable part, but unfortunately, the actual SpongeBob episode portion fucking blows. You better call 911 because coming in at 111, we got Doing Time. Now, this episode is very interesting because it's a constant cycle in Mrs. Puff's psyche of just her PTSD with SpongeBob, and I think that that's kind of an interesting idea. But again, Mrs. Puff episodes are just kind of mid, so it's just like, man, I don't really care that much. One of my favorite gags of the show, though, when he's like wrote his entire life's memo or whatever, and then the shit comes splashing in. Let's open the windows for your new white coats or outfits or whatever. Fucking shit splashes and stains everything red. It's just a really goofy little gag. But I really just don't like seeing Mrs. Puff get tormented over and over by SpongeBob and Patrick being dumbasses. Now, obviously, this isn't actually SpongeBob and Patrick. She is just going insane. But still, it's just it's not exactly enjoyable to watch, you know? So it's just like, you know, it's an interesting idea, but it's not really one episode that I like to watch that often. I don't know. And then the end doesn't even have like a really good like conclusion. It just keeps cycling to the point where she just says, "Oh, forget it." It's like, I don't know. It's a very odd episode. Up next, we got Rockabye Valve, and honestly, I hate a lot of things about this episode. However, one of my favorite reoccurring gags in SpongeBob episodes are when SpongeBob just drops the nice guy persona and just crashes the fuck out. And this episode has one of his best crash out of all time. Overtime! Like, bro, that shit is so funny. But just the whole general idea of this episode of SpongeBob and Patrick being like this little weird gay couple, it just don't really hit for me. I don't know. I don't find it funny. It's just very strange. And then Patrick is pretty characteristically being like a dumbass. Like, you know, Patrick be pissing me off, but it makes sense. Like, if Patrick was a dad, this is exactly how I would see him being. So his characterization doesn't really piss me off that much in this episode because it seems pretty on point. I love how he's just sitting there, "This is what I get for overtime." Or whatever the fuck he said, "This is the thanks I get for overtime." And then SpongeBob crashes out. I love the diaper scene where it's like in the fridge, and the trash, and the walls, outside, and the dump. And then I love at the beginning of the episode, Patrick's trying to fucking kill this thing, like, meep, 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 meep. That's what it was. Tries to fucking stomp on it. Like, holy shit. And I like the music, like the you know what song I'm talking about. I like that part. I like the end, "Let's have another," after it drops a big ass coconut on his dumb ass head. I love it. It's those, there are moments of this episode that are really good, but overall the entire episode, it's just kind of miserable to watch. A lot of the jokes don't land, but the jokes that do land really land. Unfortunately, in an 11-minute episode, if only a couple jokes are landing, that's only like 40 seconds of parts of the episode that I actually kind of like compared to the whole runtime. So that is why this reaches so low. But the parts that I like, I do like. So yeah, it's definitely an iconic episode too, and it's very memorable. Coming in at 109, we got Life of Crime. Now, I don't like the majority of this episode, but actually like the start of this episode with them watching that movie about that criminal, and then Mr. Krabs goes fucking nuts talking about drowning them. Well, I mean, since they're fish, he talks about raising them up in the air. But if it was like us talking, he literally said it was just strung up by their gills and held in air. Like, bro, you're basically just saying you want to drown these people to death. Like, that's insane, bro. Calm down. I know he was in the Navy, but fuck. And then I like the whole idea that, like, he's a thief, he steals shit, and he tries to shrug it off. It's like, no, I'm just borrowing, bro. I'm cool. But then the rest of the episode is just them accidentally popping a balloon, and then they turn on each other. And it's just, I don't know, it's just not very interesting. It's pretty lame. Like, the first 2 minutes are cool, and then the rest is just, it's just kind of whatever. The chocolate bar, now I'm gonna starve, is kind of funny, but that's like the only memorable part for me. The free balloon gag is okay at best. Like, the episode starts like, it's free balloon day, and then at the end the cops are like, yeah, on free balloon day. Like, it's an okay punchline, but it don't do much. Coming in at 108, we got Ugh. And that's kind of how I feel when I see this specials on. I can't lie, because this shit's kind of boring. Like, it's visually and atmospherically, it's really cool how it's set in, like, the prehistoric time, so, like, it looks very visually distinct, but that isn't exactly a visual style that I'm super interested in seeing. I feel like SB129 gave us enough of this visual style that I needed for, this entire show. Like, I really didn't need to see this caveman shit again, and there's no dialogue. It's just supposed to be slapstick, but the slapstick isn't exactly what makes SpongeBob land for me. It's like the funny dialogue and the characterization, and just this episode doesn't really have that. The patchy segments are cool. I like that When Worlds Collide song. It sounds like a Beastie Boys song. That shit's actually pretty cool. That motherfucker Apache gets fucked up by a dinosaur. That was kind of funny, I guess. But the actual SpongeBob episode is all right. The Odyssey reference was kind of cool with, like, the creepy, like, music, flashing between the images, and then the barbershop corte was really cool. And I think it's funny how they gave the black dude a white mustache because all the white people had black mustaches. It's just such a dumb joke, but it's really funny. I don't know. It's just that whole barbershop where they coming out of nowhere and it was them singing the whole time. That's a pretty funny punchline. Pretty much the only good one throughout the entire episode. I love how they just fucked up Mr. Krabs' fucking ancestor, though, and just ate him. That was pretty funny. But apart from that, it's pretty forgettable, pretty mid, and whenever I see this on, I'm like, this one. Artist unknown. Some people would say that 107 is very low for this spot, and honestly, I can understand the appeal of this episode. It is a very SpongeBob annoys Squidward type episode. But the thing is I feel like it's done in a very bullshit manner. I feel like Squidward would have actually bonded over SpongeBob when Squidward finds out that SpongeBob is good at art, and it just feels very mischaracter of Squidward to just shit on SpongeBob just for being SpongeBob, because there have been multiple instances where SpongeBob shows a talent and Squidward respects that, like in Naughty Nautical Neighbors, when he thinks that SpongeBob can play that instrument, he's like, oh, I didn't know you could play that, and it's like, I just feel like it's very mean-spirited for Squidward to see SpongeBob do this incredible art piece, and Squidward just shit on it just because he don't fuck with SpongeBob. Like, that just really isn't in character for him at all. And just SpongeBob constantly thinking that he's the problem, going to the dump, being sad in himself, being disappointed in himself. It's just a very negative episode. And then it's just a very sad, it's just not a very enjoyable episode. Like, the jokes are pretty funny, but that mischaracterization really bothers me a lot with this one. And bold and brash, more like belongs in the trash, is definitely one of the best jokes in the entire series. That shit is absolutely funny. And then I think it's a little bittersweet that Squidward finally makes a masterpiece and then he doesn't even realize it and gives it to the fucking janitor at the very end. That is a pretty good punchline. But overall, it's just Squidward's just on some bullshit with SpongeBob this one. Much like the last spot, the mischaracterization of Patrick in this episode, it's just a little off-putting. And in general, the whole idea of this episode is just kind of boring in general. Like, oh, they're just chilling in school. It's just, I don't know. It's never really one that I'm excited when it comes on. It has a couple funny jokes. 24, 25. Like that's pretty funny. I like the part where they draw Mrs. Puff as that ugly fat bitch, and then she's like, as if I really look like that, and she looks exactly like the picture. And my favorite joke from this episode is definitely when they need a light bulb and he climbs on top of the pile of light bulbs to get the light bulb at the very top. That was pretty good. And then the resolution of the story where they become friends again is definitely a sweet moment, but they should have never really been bickering and fighting like how they were in the first place. Like Mrs. Puff, the fact that she obviously don't understand what's going on. SpongeBob is a plus student, maybe not in terms of passing, definitely not, but in terms of behavior and like just being respectful and paying attention. SpongeBob is definitely tapped in. So it just felt like Mrs. Puff was also out of character here too. And it's just kind of a frustrating episode, especially if you've had this situation at school where you get in trouble for someone else's bullshit. Seeing SpongeBob go through it, and SpongeBob is damn near like the most pure, innocent creature in all of anything. It's just, it's a little irritating. We finally got our first season 1 episode here. What can I say? It's my favorite season of anything ever. And the thing that sucks about this placement is I Was a Teenage Gary doesn't even really do anything wrong because it does everything perfectly that it's supposed to. It's supposed to be this weird, uncomfortable, creepy, eerie episode for Halloween. And it does that spectacularly. The problem is, though, is that since it's so kind of uncomfortable, it kind of has a bad ending. It's kind of just leaves like a creepy taste in your mouth. It's just like, it's not really an episode you really enjoy watching when it's not Halloween season. And the jokes aren't really there. There's not that many jokes. I mean, there's a couple visual gags, like when Squidward eats all the snail food and his head gets fucking massive. But overall, it's just not the most enjoyable to go back to. Squidward's an asshole neglecting Gary, but it's very in character, so it doesn't bother me because that's some shit Squidward would do. He's a bitch. He agrees to let SpongeBob go away. He'll take care of Gary. He doesn't take care of Gary. What a bitch. And also, I've heard a fan theory that actually the jellyfishing convention that they go to for the weekend is actually where they go to meet Kevin in season 2, and I've always liked that theory, and I'm going to keep that as a headcanon because I think that's a really cool detail, and I would really like that to be the case. But overall, and then Squidward definitely gets his comeuppance, his karma at the very end. He gets turned into the snail. He's like, "Will you clam up?" Throws the boot at him. Meow, meow, meow. Like, it is a funny ending there. There's like this weird mystery that people remember Squidward transforming into the snail that was never in the episode. Those people are tweaking off the Henny for real, no cap. I had this on DVD when I was very little, and I can promise you that was never a scene in this episode, never. Seeing SpongeBob transform into the snail, like I said, it's not the most enjoyable thing to watch. It's very uncomfortable, but for a creepy Halloween episode, I think it does its job. Now, the thing with Big Pink Loser is it shows Patrick out of character, but it doesn't mischaracterize him, and that's a very important distinction to make because you can definitely see the perspective of Patrick acting out like a bitch in this episode, but you can also understand where he's coming from. He is a big pink loser. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't have any goals in life. He doesn't have any achievements or anything. So when he finds out that SpongeBob has gotten all these awards and achievements and stuff, you can definitely understand why Patrick does what he does. Now, does that make that okay, what he does? Hell no. He's a fucking bastard in this episode. But it definitely does show insight into his character. So even though he's acting out of character, it's not necessarily uncharacteristic of him because this kind of recontextualizes him as a character and adds this into his character where in a way that it makes sense. And the episode itself, it's just Patrick just kind of being stupid. It's not really, the gags aren't all the way there for me. Like, there's a couple funny ones like, "Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?" I use that on Twitter all the time because there are some dumb motherfuckers on Twitter, and I use that little video so much on there. That's like my number one reaction video, I swear to God. And the other iconic joke from the episode, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" "No, this is Patrick." Like, you gotta love that line. But apart from that, it's just overall, it's just I don't know. It's just it doesn't really make me laugh too much. Like Patrick copying SpongeBob, it makes sense for the plot, but it's not really super entertaining or funny. The lid part where we're just supposed to believe Patrick who eats mayonnaise. Mayonnaise obviously always comes in a jar. You always got to take the lid off mayonnaise to eat. All of a sudden, this fat motherfucker doesn't know how to take a lid off of a jar. Like, cut it out, Patrick. Come on. Don't really got a whole lot to say about the Smoking Peanut. It's obviously just a parody and a spoof of like detective films with Patrick being the detective. Obviously, the joke is that the dumbest character is the one trying to solve the big crime. Which I guess you could see some sort of comedic aspect to that, but this episode doesn't make me laugh really at all. And we really can't play along with the detective part because we know who threw the peanut. SpongeBob did. Obviously, at the end, we find out that the peanut wasn't the reason why it was pissed off, and it was Mr. Krabs being a greedy little bastard. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just there's nothing really interesting on a rewatch of this episode because you know how it's going to play out. The whole mystery of this episode is SpongeBob going to confess? Is SpongeBob going to stand up for what he did? And once you find out and realize that he does, a rewatch of this episode doesn't really have much to offer. It is kind of cool seeing the beginning though, again, where like Mr. Krabs is taking advantage of Free Day, stealing stuff. So then obviously that ties into the end of him stealing something you might not catch on your first watch through, but when you watch it again, you might catch that. I love the part where Sandy says what she's gonna do, Squidward says what he's gonna do, and then SpongeBob is like trying to work up the courage to tell on himself, and just every person he goes to for help just says how much they hate him, or well, don't hate him, but hates whoever the culprit is. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't really have much more to offer than that, but the change of scenery is nice at the zoo. It's pretty cool. Now we got Sponge Guard on duty, and I just gotta call this out. You're telling me that an aquatic creature can't swim? That's a whole lot of hogwash. And even if bro can't swim, he's a sponge. Dude can just soak up the water he's drowning in or just float. Like, come on. This is some tomfoolery going on in this episode. But there's not a whole lot to say. It's SpongeBob being a phony. He does this quite a few times where he tries to prop up this cool tough guy persona. Well, I guess he's not really trying to be a tough guy here, but he's trying to be like, one of like the cool big lifeguards with Larry. And just, of course, like every single time he's a phony, it ends up backfiring on him. But, it's cool for what it is. It has one of my favorite jokes in the entire show where he goes, "Then I'll be struck by a flying ice cream truck. The shadow appears and live." That's a really, really, really good one. And Goo Lagoon, it's a very interesting place. It's pretty different scenery compared to a lot of the other locations in the show. So a good Goo Lagoon episode is definitely a nice change of pace. And we finally get the first Larry episode. We kind of get more into Larry's character. He's not my personal favorite. He's kind of just like a beach douchebag, especially when he kicks his own parents off the beach. Like, this guy, come on. But overall, it's just a pretty good episode. It teaches you morals, like don't fake who you are. Don't fake it till you make it, because that shit's never going to work. Just be yourself. Be honest with yourself. And I like how at the end, SpongeBob and Patrick both have to now get swimming lessons from Larry. That is a pretty good payoff for him lying. Not so much Patrick. Patrick didn't really do shit to deserve that, but SpongeBob definitely was on some bullshit timing on this one. Coming in at 101, we got Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, and if you flip 101 around, it's 101 again. That's a palindrome, ain't that neat? Anyway, this is an interesting season finale for season 1, because it's not necessarily the best season finale, like, at all for the viewer. It's actually relatively disappointing. I think for SpongeBob himself, like the character, this is like the best finale he could have gotten for the season. Like, his heroes are in danger and he finally proves his worth to them and he saves them from their biggest villain. And I think that's a really good way for SpongeBob's, whole little show to end. Well, at least for season 1. But for the viewer, this episode is a little... It's aight. We get introduced to some of the villains that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy go against, like the Atomic Flounder and the Dirty Bubble. We see he unlocks like this thing in like a competition, and then he can summon them at any time. And we kind of start to see SpongeBob kind of being a bit of an asshole, like kind of just making them do like basic shit. But he eventually does redeem himself, like I said, because he does save the day at the beginning, or at the end, not at the beginning. I think it's funny how they ditch him. Like, yeah, let's ditch him. That was pretty funny. And then they sing like the obviously Jingle Bells Batman Smells kind of thing, but obviously with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy characters. I thought that was pretty cute little ending there, that little ending scene where they drive away. Just overall, it's a pretty forgettable episode in my opinion. I think both the first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes are. I never particularly liked either of them, but I definitely think of the two, this one's definitely worse. And the fact that it's a season finale makes like how kind of mediocre-ish it is stand out even more, unfortunately. And there's Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 1. I feel like they're very similar in terms of quality, as I kind of alluded in that little rant there. But this is starting off the top 100 of the list, so that's interesting. And if you flip 100 around, it's 001, which is an Immortal app. Ain't that neat? Anyway, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1 is definitely more interesting and funnier than 2. I like the idea that SpongeBob finds out where they live, and then he goes and like fucks with them, and then they eventually, the superheroes that they worship eventually turn on them and just use their powers against them. Which is also cool to see that they actually are superpowers, and it's not just for the TV show, and like they can actually do like superhero shit. I feel like that's pretty cool. However, I feel like I want to eat my meatloaf. Like there are some funny quotes here. But overall, it's just some boring old people in a boring old retirement home, which is the joke, right? Like that's the funny part. Like these cool ass, super cool superheroes are now lame, boring old people. But when watching the episode, it's just lame, old, boring old people, you know? Now, this, I think, is by far the biggest hot take so far. I know this is a beloved episode by tons of people. It's a very iconic episode, the Magic Conch. May I have something to eat? No! It does have its funny moments, for sure, and I love the scenery, like the kelp jungle forest. They're lost, like they're stranded, they're scavengers. But there are quite a few parts of this episode that I've never really liked that much. And the biggest problem, and you hear me talk about this a couple times, is just the mischaracterization of some of the characters. I feel like SpongeBob and Patrick selling out Squidward and not letting him eat food because he doesn't want to believe in this goofy little toy is just super out of character. Like, they're going to watch this man starve unless he agrees to be like in like their cult thing. Like, I don't know. That just doesn't strike me as some shit SpongeBob would be on. And I do like the gag of the Magic Conch is always right. Like, sit and do nothing. And then just randomly picnic supplies fall. And I think it's really funny that it never goes answered if the Magic Conch actually is magic or if they're just getting so incredibly lucky with the sound responses. I think that does add to the joke of, like, you never really know. Like, is it sentient or is it just incredibly unlucky for Squidward? And I think both outcomes are both fucking hilarious. And then, of course, the gag at the end where the Lost Explorer comes in, finds them, and then also has a Magic Conch like this, and then they're just all stupid, and then Squidward finally just fucking loses it and breaks down. They never get freed, they never get escaped, they just sit there in the forest forever, fuck it, because the Magic Conch said so. And I definitely do see the appeal of this episode, and I do understand why it is so popular and why it is so, like, famous and, you know, so memed. Because no, can I have something to eat? No. Like, it is funny. But it's just, overall, like, it just feels like something's off. Like, it just doesn't feel like I'm watching a SpongeBob episode with SpongeBob and Patrick. Like, it feels like... kind of feels like a fan-made episode, to be honest. I don't know. It's just SpongeBob just really doesn't feel like SpongeBob in this episode, and it bothers me quite a bit. Coming in at 98, we got No Free Rides, and I don't really got nothing bad to say about this episode. I think it's got some pretty decent gags all around, and I do like watching it. I just think that you know, it does have some boring or mid sections too. The whole episode is just like Mrs. Puff finally lets SpongeBob pass. She realizes, oh shit, I just let this dude pass. He's gonna be a liability on the road. I gotta go get rid of his boat. And you know, there is some good gags, like when she comes into her house and her picture of her coming into her house is on the wall, and it's like repeating cycle. I like how freaky the dad is. I like how when SpongeBob finally gets his boat, that song that plays, Undertow, I think the name of it is. I love that song. It's so good. I listen to that song all the time, that background music there. And I also love I love the joke where it's like, and why do you have a ski mask? You're not skiing. And then they get into a fight while she's driving. And then one part at the end of the chase, which I'll never understand, is when he finds out it's Mrs. Puff, and then he goes, like, why did he do that? I don't fucking get it. It's so weird. But oh yeah, and this episode also has what I learned in boating school is. You gotta have that part too. Overall, this episode does have some pretty memorable parts, but it also has some kind of forgettable, boring parts as well, which is why it does come in so at 98. But it is still a good episode, and we're definitely getting into the part of the list now where the rest of these episodes are good and fun and good quality. It's just when I hold SpongeBob to such a high standard, an episode has to be better than just kind of all right, and this one is just kind of good, like kind of all right. Like, it doesn't really do anything to set itself like super high for me, so I do like it, and I definitely will enjoy it when it's on, but there are so many other episodes I'd rather watch. Now, the first thing I gotta mention about Great Snail Race is the title card music playing Now That We're Men from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Deadass, my favorite movie of all time. I love that movie so much. Get the crown, save the town, and Mr. Motherfucking Krabs, god damn it. But the Great Snail Race, it's a pretty decent one. I liked it a little more as a kid than I do now. I thought it was funnier when I was little, because, SpongeBob's just kind of being an asshole. But now I'm a little older, I'm like, damn, this dude's low-key really abusing his pet for this little stupid-ass race. Like, come on now. Why are you doing that shit to Gary? The hell did he do? But no, it's got some funny jokes. Like at the end when Gary starts malfunctioning like a car and he like crashes and his engine blows and he starts leaving skid marks. Like that shit's really funny. I love how Patrick's rock ends up winning the race somehow. I love the gag of nobody knows Squidward's name, like tennis balls, tortellini. Like it's just a funny reoccurring joke. Sandy eventually kicks SpongeBob in his ass for being an asshole. At the end of the episode, and it's just overall, it's just it's a good all around episode. SpongeBob gets his comeuppance, for being such a dickhead, but he was still a dickhead, and it's not necessarily my favorite thing to see. Not a whole lot to say about Muscle Bob Buff Pants. It's just a pretty all around kind of funny episode. SpongeBob, he gets fake arms to look tough, and then he can't do anything because he's not actually tough, so he can't lift shit. He can't even lift a fucking cup off of his hand. And that's pretty much it. Like it's a fine one. It's a good one. It's quality. Obviously, it's season 1. I love season 1. But there's not really a whole lot to mention. I mean, at the end where he breaks his arm from not even because he keeps clicking a TV remote, and that's such a tiring workout for him that his arm just pops off. That's a pretty funny ending joke. But overall, there's just not a whole lot to comment on here. Now, I know some people might not agree with this placement of Reef Blower here. It might feel a little shoehorned in here, but let me explain why I think Reef Blower is a little bit better than most people might think. So, first of all, it's the second episode of the show. And the audacity to have your second episode of your show just completely different from the rest of it and have no audio it's such a cool little quirk. I really like when shows do that, where one of the first episodes is just completely different. The Sopranos, for example, the second episode has a cold open and none of the other episodes have that. I think shit like that is super cool, where just one of the first episodes is just completely different and unique. And on top of that, it shows that this show can stand on its own without any dialogue. Just the art style and just the feel and the atmosphere and the vibes of the show can stand on their own without any quirky jokes or dialogue. And I think that that's really cool, and I think that that's really says a lot about how confident they were in this show's success, because it is fucking fantastic. And the last thing is, it has a funny message of just don't litter. I'm not necessarily litter, because it was a shell in his yard, but he kicked it over in SpongeBob's yard. And then SpongeBob does all this goofy shit to get rid of this shell. And at the end of the episode, the shell ends back up in Squidward's yard anyway. So it's kind of a moral, bro, don't try to fuck over other people just because you're lazy. Just pick your shit up and throw it away. Don't be a bitch. Come on, Squidward. And it's just a goofy episode. He sucks up all the water, and obviously it's just a visual gags. All the visual gags hit, I think, when he sprays the fuck out of it in Squidward's face, and he has that meme face where he just looks so sad and just dried out his entire face. I love the lawnmower prank, or not prank, the lawnmower gag where he has to fucking pull it all the way out to get it to work, like you do with a lawnmower, and then it stops in place while he walks. It's just all the visual gags really hit for me. They do, and I think it's such a cool, unique concept that it's executed phenomenally, and it has a good moral at the end. So I think Reef Blower definitely deserves to be up this high. Krabby Land is the first main Mr. Krabs episode. Now, we've seen him a little bit here and there in some of the other ones, but this is the first one where he's like the main star of the episode, and Mr. Krabs is by far my favorite character. So every episode that's going to have him is just going to get a little bit up a notch, and this episode really does show just how much of a greedy little bastard he is, a crustaceous cheapskate, if you will, and, it's funny, right? It's just the whole idea of him pretending like he's going to build this cool little amusement park, and then it's just some actual dog shit. It's funny as shit, and it really is. But some of the things that I don't like about this episode are the parts where SpongeBob just keeps hurting himself to keep their attention. It kind of feels like, and this is kind of funny because I was just talking about Reef Blower doing visual gags good. I feel like in this episode, because it was already funny before the visual gags, I feel like a lot of these visual gags kind of take away from the dialogue jokes, because this episode had quite a few funny ones. And then, so, I don't know, it just sucks from going from, like, really funny sections just because Mr. Krabs is such a funny dude with his jokes and, like, his personality, to going from SpongeBob just beating himself up for visual gags, I guess. They just don't really land for me, especially with the kids just being fucking just straight assholes. Like, they are mean. But they eventually do get their comeuppance by... They start to torture Mr. Krabs at the end because he's just, I don't care about the kids, I just want their money. He's just a little bastard. The cheapskate instead of Krabby the clown. It was funny. He just wipes off the tomato. All right, put it back in stock. And then the part where he's spying on the kids with binoculars, like, what is Diddy doing over here? Like, come on, go to jail. Get out of here. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Get out of here. But that there's like 2 minutes straight of SpongeBob just damn near getting tortured by these children, and I'm like, damn, bro, like I don't know, I don't like seeing my dog go through this, because he really didn't do nothing wrong in the episode either. It's not like the Great Snail Race where he was being an asshole. No, SpongeBob was being the good guy, and he's still getting his ass beat. Like, come on now, where's the karma? Grandma's Kisses is a very weird episode. I think it has a very good message, but viewing it wise, there's a lot of parts that just I'm not a big fan of. This is one of the first episodes to really have SpongeBob being like a crybaby bitch, which is one of the main reasons why I don't like new SpongeBob, is just him crying and screaming and whining like just the biggest bitch in the 7 seas. Oh my goodness. And this episode does have a lot of that, but it's also valid for this episode as well. Like him like being sad and him getting picked on and him like just wanting to be himself. And he eventually does come to terms that you should be yourself, right? Which I think is the main idea of this episode, is like, don't be afraid to do things you like. Don't be afraid of how you look to other people. Like, do what you want to do. If it looks embarrassing too fucking bad, it's what you want to do. It's how you want to live. Be happy in your own shoes. Why do you care about bum-ass dude at the fucking cash register, Squidward, laughing at you getting a kiss from your grandma? That dude hasn't seen his grandma in 10 years. She don't love him. Damn. But that is another thing I don't like about this episode. Nothing really ever happens to the guys that were just being an asshole to SpongeBob. Like, nothing happens. They're just sitting outside his grandma's house like some fucking weirdos. Like, if you don't get out of here, you don't live here. Go home. This isn't your house. And you know I gotta mention Patrick backstabbing his friend SpongeBob, trying to act like he has to be so manly. As soon as Patrick gets in Grandma's house, instantly folds like a soft-shell taco, like a 3-piece lawn chair, like a goddamn paper airplane. That dude folded so fast. Oh my goodness, he got one bite of that cookie. That dude was in love with Meemaw. Naughty Nautical Neighbors is a simple plot, simple episode, but it's executed well. SpongeBob and Patrick are best friends. Squidward fucks with them. They start to hate each other. By the end of the episode, Patrick and SpongeBob become best friends again. It's a simple tale, but it's told really well. It's got some funny visual gags, got some funny dialogue jokes. It's just, overall, it takes place in the Bikini Bottom neighborhood. I've always been a big fan of the episodes that just take place between, like, the pineapple, the rock, and the fucking tiki head. It's just a nice vibe to be. And it has one of my favorite memes in the entire show. Yeah, E minor. As soon as Squidward starts playing it, dude instantly slumped. Like, bro's just instantly knocked out. Coming in at 19, we got Opposite Day. Now, Opposite Day, it's pretty good. It's one of the more beloved SpongeBob episodes, I would say. It's pretty, like, it was a big part of the culture. Like, everybody knew Opposite Day. And it was never one of my big favorites, but the gags that hit for me really hit for me. He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward. Are there any other Squidwards I should know about? meow. Like, that shit is so fucking funny. But I always hated, even as a kid, I hated how close Squidward got to moving away from these goofy goober little motherfuckers. And then he's just so close, and then bro just gets edged harder than anybody has ever been edged, and bro just goes, no, I wouldn't sell this house to you if you were the last Squidward on Earth. Like, damn, bitch, what the fuck? This dude just wants to get out of here. Like, damn. And at the very end, bro gets on a bulldozer. Happy opposite night, Spongebob. Like, dude was actually peeved, and I don't blame him, dude. Like, holy shit, I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, Squidward, Squidward. Like, imagine hearing that all day, every day of your life. I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward. Now, as an animal lover, My Pretty Seahorse always resonated a lot with me. This is one I used to watch all the time. I had this one on DVD when I lived at my grandma's house. And man, I watched this one so much. I love pets. I love animals. So the idea of like SpongeBob and the seahorse bonding all day was super, super fun just to watch. And you know that feeling of like, okay, there's just a point in a time where you just got to say goodbye to your pet, and just some scenarios just don't let you have a pet, and it's so sad to see an animal go. It was also sad as fuck to see how much the seahorse just did not give a fuck about SpongeBob either, low key at the end. That always kind of pissed me off. Like, I thought you loved this sponge little mystery, and then you just walk away like he's nothing. Like, damn. A lot of the jokes here are funny, like Patrick walking back into the door with the fucking board on his head, just donk, 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 donk. This is one of the only episodes to kind of have a little bit of an epilogue like that, at least in the first 3 seasons. Like, after the episode's over, just shows like Patrick doing that, and then it cuts to the credits there. I really like the there's a coin slot, here it is. Like, ain't no way, freaky at coin slot. And then my favorite gag of the episode, and one of my favorite gags in all of SpongeBob, and it's so low-key unlike underrated as a joke, is when Squidward's like, SpongeBob, where are the patties? Did you check under the tray? Oh no, I didn't, sorry. And then he like opens, and then he like lifts it up, looks for the patties, and then he realizes, wait, that's fucking stupid. Why would they be under there? I always loved that joke. That's one of my favorite jokes in the entire series. It's so low-key, but it's just so fucking funny. I love when like Mr. Krabs is like, well, keep trying your impression. It's terrible. And then, like I said, it is sad to see SpongeBob be so distraught over his pet. But honestly, the seahorse not really giving a fuck made that not as sad, but it's still pretty sad. Coming in at 89, we got the Suds. Now, the Suds really does show the Season 1 creativity of Season 1 of SpongeBob really did just go overboard of showing you, like, hey, these are underwater creatures. They are underwater, and so many aspects of the show show that off so cool. I just love how instead of him just getting sick, he gets the Suds because he's a sponge. That's just so fucking cool. And I'm about to drop some elite ball knowledge, but when the house freezes over, that reminds me of Mice Follies from Tom and Jerry, and man, I love that episode, and man, I love this one too. The way the whole house just looks like this beautiful, glistening, like crystallized frost over everything. Oh, it looks so pretty. The style is so cool. And then the gags of this episode, I'm not gonna lie, this episode gets a little freaky. Tying up SpongeBob, the mask on. This is a wild little episode in this one. And then the ending gag, he eventually does go to the doctor, and the doctor just uses him like a sponge, cleans all the bubbles out of him, and then obviously Patrick gets his comeuppance at the end as well for damn near almost torturing SpongeBob. This episode is one of my favorite jokes too. It's almost like I say that for every episode. I feel like this has one of my favorite jokes because I'm telling you, the show just has some banger jokes. But I love, this is my second house. Why does it have feet? It's my mobile home. Like, that's so funny. And just overall, the dichotomy between Patrick and Sandy. I'll be faster than a jackrabbit and a hot skillet and a hot summer day. I don't remember what exactly she says, but she's just texting, yapping. And just overall, The Suds is a really creative episode, and it's executed pretty well. It's quite funny. Visually, very nice, too. Now, to be entirely honest, the plot and story of Bossy Boots isn't really interesting at all. Like, I don't really like the idea of this episode, but they ended up executing it very well. So basically, Mr. Krabs' daughter comes in, starts running the place. It ends up becoming trash because she makes it this shitty-ass restaurant, and then he has to fire her. But the twist is actually that Pearl didn't want to run it in the first place. Usually a lot of these episodes in different cartoons, it's like the boss wants to be the boss, the spoiled brat wants to be in control, but she was purposely trying to make dumbass decisions so Mr. Krabs would fire her, and it wasn't really working until the very end. So it was a nice change of pace from that kind of archetype of episode. And I'm going to have to say it again. This episode has one of my favorite jokes in the entire series. Mr. Krabs has almost a heart attack or something because he has to fire his daughter, and SpongeBob has to bring this motherfucker back to life with an emergency $20 bill. That is absolutely hilarious. But no, I love the start how Squidward and SpongeBob are going to band together and bond, and then SpongeBob immediately fumbles and folds, and then Squidward's like, yeah, what the fuck, I quit. It's just overall, it has some cool visual design, like seeing the Krusty Krab as a different restaurant, the Cuddly Crab. It was pretty cool. And just overall, they just executed this idea very well, much better than I thought they would have. Up next, we got Nature Pants. Now, this one holds a very special place in my heart because I remember watching this one a ton as a kid. This one is super iconic and super memorable, and it's got a bunch of memes in it that, like, really popular memes. But honestly, SpongeBob was kind of being a jackass in this episode. Dude was being the dumbass. Like, Patrick was the rational one for once, and if Patrick's the rational one, yeah, so you know the situation's cooked. So basically, SpongeBob wants to run away from his job, his life, he wants to live in the wilderness, blah, 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 and then bro gets instantly humbled and cooked by the wildlife. But I will say, this episode has some very beautiful shots, like the sunset in that one part where he goes into the field. It looks absolutely just beautiful. But, now, this episode, I'm saying it again, this episode, okay, but I actually mean it this time. This episode generally does have one of my favorite jokes in the entire series. It's when SpongeBob, there's the fire, because he starts daydreaming, and there's the fire on the grill, and then Mr. Krabs hands him a fire extinguisher, and SpongeBob just fucking launches that shit, fucking dimes it to the oven or the grill without using it. He just fucking just throws the fire extinguisher like a dumbass. And then Squidward. I just said Patrick and then Squidward. What am I talking about? I meant to say Mr. Krabs. And then Mr. Krabs looks at him like he's a goddamn crackhead and is like, are you dead ass right now, SpongeBob? Like, come on, tap in. Now, the problem with jellyfishing isn't that it's a bad episode, because it's not. It's up this high for a reason. But because it's an episode based all around jellyfishing, it leaves a little bit to be desired because there are multiple jellyfishing episodes after this that expand on the concept of jellyfishing, whereas this episode was just they're just jellyfishing, which this was the first jellyfishing episode, obviously, so they had to lay the foundation, but pretty much every single jellyfishing episode expands on the already concept that this episode laid down. You know what I mean? So I feel like I can't really put it any higher than where it is here. It does have some good gags, like the firmly grasp it and just throws that thing through Squidward's hand. Youch. It has the big jellyfish that just keeps on just absolutely donkeying on Squidward there. Just absolutely just keeps bullying him. Then just overall, it is one of the first episodes where we see like that Squidward torture kind of scene where we just watch Squidward get hurt just because it's Squidward, which, it has enough critiques over the years of people online, so I'm not going to go into how much I dislike it as well. But this was really the episode to really start that whole Squidward always gets the bad end of the stick constantly. And it is funny, though. It doesn't do it in a way that really makes me not like to watch it. But whenever I watch the episode, I'm just seeing how it's laying down the foundation of, oh, this is going to start the trend of Squidward just getting absolutely dumpstered on. Oh, boy. Mermaid and Barnacle Boy 4 is a weird episode because I think the first, 75% is really good. And then I think the last 25% is kind of dog water. But the first 75 is still really good. This is the, if you don't know which one they are, because, obviously Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes are numbered. They don't really have a subtitle, so it's hard to remember what's what. So this is the one where SpongeBob gets the belt, and it's the Wumbo, Wumbo set it to W for Wumbo. That one. And he steals the belt. Well, he doesn't steal the belt. They leave it, and he grabs it, and he holds on to it. And then he starts fucking around with it. It has powers. I really like the CGI part of SpongeBob going through the wall. It looks super uncanny and surreal, and I absolutely love it. It's such a cool effect. I love the boatmobile clicking, and it's just like a realistic boat. That's funny as hell. I just like the Squidward, like when he's transforming Squidward, like very different like animation styles, like going in there. They get a little graphic though, showing Squidward get like cut in half, like holy tamale guacamole. And then of course like the part where here comes the giant fist. Wait, Patrick, that's actually Squidward.
Oh,
And then here comes a giant fist. Like, all right, bro, cut it out. But the reason that this episode isn't a little higher is because the end of this episode kind of sucks. So basically, SpongeBob is just a dumbass and just starts shrinking everybody, puts them all in a jar, and then they start beating the shit out of SpongeBob. They go inside his body, just start breaking his organs and his bones, and then he just shrinks the entire town. So then everything's just shrunk forever. And he goes, hooray, I saved the day. And it's like, no, you didn't. You ruined everything. You suck, SpongeBob. Boating school is pretty similar to jellyfishing, where it doesn't really do a whole lot. It just kind of sets up the archetype of these episodes. So this is the first Mrs. Puff episode. And I'm not a big fan of Mrs. Puff episodes. Obviously, I've said that. And this one's just kind of okay. It has some funny jokes. I like how it kind of shows off SpongeBob's house. Like, as Patrick is giving him comms through his house, we see him, like, going through, like, his closet and his library, start wearing his clothes. He's kind of fucking around while SpongeBob's over here cheating on his test. SpongeBob realizes he's a cheater, starts crashing out. The highlight of this episode for me, the joke for this one, is the act natural. And then he starts acting like a cow and starts eating grass. Like, guy is so fucking stupid. Oh my gosh. But overall, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. It's just SpongeBob fails his test, has to cheat, cheats on his test, passes his test, finds out he's a cheater, crashes out, fails the test at the end. It's not really a whole lot. This is the first episode to have the "my leg" gag, which is always a great gag. But not really a whole lot to say here. It's just all right. Home Sweet Pineapple is probably one of, if not the most forgettable season 1 episodes, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's still pretty decent. This is the one where the nematodes come and eat his pineapple while he's sleeping, and then he has to go find somewhere else to live, and then he's about to just go back and live with his parents, and then he drops the seed at the end, grows a new pineapple, and the day's saved, hooray. It's definitely a bit of a filler episode. Nothing really happens. There's no really real character development or anything, but it's cool for what it is. We got some cool gags with Patrick, or with SpongeBob trying to live with my God, dude, I cannot talk, actually. With SpongeBob trying to live with Patrick. God damn. But I always thought it was really gross when, like, Patrick starts drooling and SpongeBob soaks up all that dude's saliva. Like, that is absolutely abhorrent behavior that I just had to watch. What the hell? I really like the gag where SpongeBob crawls all the way away from Patrick's house, and then he still gets hit by Patrick in his sleep. Like, come on, get out of here, Patrick. But overall, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. It's it's just kind of a filler episode, but it still has some cool stuff in it. First thing I gotta mention about the chaperone is Cha Cha Nova. That song is such a banger. Oh my goodness, that song alone makes the entire episode. But I'm not gonna lie, SpongeBob's a little sus in this episode. Bro's a grown man taking a high school girl to prom. What in the hell is going on here? What in the Diddy? What in the Drake? What in the Chris Hansen? What in the EDP? What in tarnation is going on here? And Mr. Krabs set it up? Ain't no way. This man just pimped his own daughter. Absolutely deplorable behavior. But no, seriously, it's just a high school prom. They just dance. SpongeBob fucks everything up. He starts crying like a bitch, but it's actually kind of warranted because Bro actually did ruin, like, the entire prom. I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably be crying too. I'd feel terrible. And then Pearl is just such an asshole to him. And then she eventually realizes she's an asshole. Then they start hanging out. They start having fun together. And then, SpongeBob takes her home. Mr. Krabs is like, thank you for taking my daughter to prom. No one wanted to take her fat, ugly ass, so I'm glad you did for me. Appreciate that, bud. Goes inside, and then we find out the whole time that it was Bro's little cardboard cutout, Bro's little dummy stand, whatever the fuck it was. And it's like, what? What do you mean this whole time SpongeBob was just the stand? Like, what the hell is going on? This is a very interesting, weird ending gag. Like, what? Like, it's just a mind fuck. But overall, like, I like the nighttime vibe. I definitely do prefer, like, the dark kind of nighttime-y kind of vibe. I was gonna say kind of gritty and creepy, but it's not. It's like it's very light. It's very lively nighttime vibe, and I don't know. Just overall in general in life, I prefer the nightlife over the day life. So maybe that edges this episode out a little bit for me, but overall, it's just pretty nice to see SpongeBob and Pearl just kind of hang out because they never really do that. Sandy's rocket has some incredible visual design. Like when they go up into outer space and the moon, it looks all realistic. Dude, that thing looks fucking cool. And I just love how goofy this premise is. They think that they went to the moon and the aliens projected their minds onto the environment. Like, what? Just a goofy ass concept for an episode. And come on, like really, y'all really think that's what happened? And then they capture everybody, and I love how they just call out how ugly of an alien Squidward looks like. It's because it's literally just Squidward, and they're just calling like how ugly it is, how disgusting it is, and it's literally just him. Like, that shit is so hilarious. And then, at the end they find out, oh shit, we weren't really on the moon. And then everybody gets mad at him, like, SpongeBob, we want to talk to you. Like, bro's about to get his ass plastered by Bikini Bottom. Unreal. But yeah, it's just a goofy episode. It looks cool. It has the nighttime vibe, like I was just saying, for the chaperone. I like the nighttime vibe, so Sandy's rocket has, it's got a cool little nighttime vibe going on here. I really like the start, how when they're in the rocket, the sci-fi kind of vibe. It looks really cool, very different for the show at this point, because it's like a very natural setting underwater, and then Sandy's rocket comes in and has like this super scientific kind of vibe. And this is the episode that shows off Sandy's more sciencey side. Where at, like, in the first episode, she was like, just a squirrel that was just chilling underwater in a suit doing like karate, just chilling. And then now we're like learning more about her character. It's a very big character development for Sandy. It's really cool. I really like Patty Hype because it shows SpongeBob following his dreams and not like really listening to the haters, and he just makes his own restaurant, because at the end of the day, SpongeBob is the reason why the Krusty Krab is still around. If SpongeBob never got that job, that place would have bankrupted, well, since the Chum Famine of '59. I'm not gonna lie to you. So for SpongeBob to have his own restaurant and just make so much profit, dude became a hit sensation. Dude went viral, and just Mr. Krabs sitting there in his little bum-ass fucking office watching on his little rinky-dinky, stinky-pinky TV, watching his old employee just make thousands. It's good. And then Mr. Krabs tries to swoop in like an asshole and try to steal his hot business while giving SpongeBob the bum-ass Krusty Krab that it's getting no business. And then as soon as Mr. Krabs takes ownership, that's when everybody wants a refund, because SpongeBob's recipe was kind of fucked up, but SpongeBob don't have to pay the price because he sold it, So it's a good full circle. Like, Mr. Krabs is just an asshole, and then he gets karma. And SpongeBob really did deserve to get some karma, I'm not going to lie, because he really did, like, just poison, like, every single fish in Bikini Bottom. But, you know what? He gets away this time. Now, this is another one where Patrick crashes out, but it's actually justified in this one. Bro just got absolutely blue-balled. Bro was so excited for this gift. It was just a little rinky-dinky handshake. Like, honestly, I'd be pissed, too. I defy you, Heart Man. And then, at the end, he does get his gift anyway, and then he goes, oh, SpongeBob, you didn't have to get me anything. Yes, we did, you little pink menace. You were going to kill us all because you were mad. And I love the bench joke where SpongeBob's just sitting there chilling with his best friend, and, like, strangers are like, thanks, SpongeBob, for this. Thanks, SpongeBob, for that. Hey, I just met this dude today, and he gave me this. Meanwhile, Patrick didn't get shit. Do you hear my furnace in the background turning on just as soon as I want to record a video? That's when you want to turn on. Oh, dumbass furnace. That just made me mad. I have to go re-listen to this part and see how loud that was in the background. God dang it. I have so much nostalgia for this episode, it's not even funny. I had the SpongeBob Halloween disc, and I had that on my little portable DVD player. I took that shit everywhere when I was little. I absolutely loved this episode. I overplayed it so much. I knew it to every single word, every single piece of dialogue, man. And this one, it's pretty good. I love the whole idea of them thinking that they killed Squidward and he's a ghost because of the way he, like, prepared himself after his shower. Dude does just straight up look like a fucking phantom. Dude looks like a specter, a ghost. But, and then they're trying to do all of his bidding, and one of my favorite jokes from this episode is the watermelon, like, here's your watermelon, and then drops it in his mouth, and he just starts choking on the big-ass watermelon. But the funniest thing about that joke is there's a viral internet meme, or at least it was viral a few years ago. Perk 30 for you, my nigga. This shit will fuck you up good. That meme is so funny. If you haven't seen that, look it up right now. It is actually, just look up SpongeBob Perk 30 SpongeBob. It is actually hilarious. I love that meme. But overall, this shows the introduction of the Flying Dutchman, because I'm pretty sure that this episode is before Scaredy Pants, so this is the first time we see the Flying Dutchman. We learn his story of him, like, dying and then, haunting the seas because he's just angry and bitter and old. And I love the part, okay, get in. Trying to kill Squidward. Well, I mean, they already think he's dead, but they just want him to come into the coffin. They just want to bury this motherfucker. And then everybody comes, we came as soon as we were sure you were dead. Like, alright, Mr. Krabs, you're a little asshole. And then it's like, tell your friends to go home. But, okay, go home. And everyone just goes home. It's like, okay, whatever, we're out of here. And then the ending always kind of irritated me a little bit, where they send Squidward to the great beyond. Like, he told you he's not dead, man. And then, like, he's in denial. Like, no, he's not. He's just alive. Like, you just kidnapped this dude and threw him in the air. What the hell is wrong with you, little yellow dude? And there it is. For my Christmas special, we have 77, Christmas Who, the Spongebob Christmas special. And I'm pretty sure this was the first episode with Patchy the Pirate. And man, that's just so iconic. Christmas Who really is just such a happy, feel-good episode. It's just so nice to watch. It's just awesome, man. It really is. Christmas is by far my favorite holiday. That's why I do these big-ass rankings on Christmas, because I have to celebrate my favorite holiday with my best video of the year, man. So, it's just so nice just to see Bikini Bottom all come together happy. They all sing songs, they all decorate, they all are just so excited to meet Santa Claus. It's just such a feel-good, happy episode. And then clock strikes 12, midnight arrives. This man Squidward is on some demon timing in this episode. Dude is a certified asshole for no reason. Like, dude's just a dick. And then he has fucking SpongeBob take the picture, and he just looks so sad, and he's just rubbing the picture on his cheeks, just absolutely delighted that SpongeBob's entire Christmas is ruined. Like, this dude sucks. And then SpongeBob made him a gift so he wouldn't be left out. This asshole. And then he gets the best gift of all time, and he doesn't deserve not one lick of that clarinet. Well, that actually pisses me off thinking about it. A little jackass-ass Squidward. And then, obviously Squidward tries to redeem himself, gives up all of his shit, dresses up as Santa Claus, does the whole gift exchange, makes SpongeBob happy, and then the real Santa Claus comes in at the end. And it's just, I don't know, the Santa at the end of the episode is tweaking out. I don't really know what's going on with that cut, but he's going a little loopy. I don't think bro was sipping eggnog in that sleigh. I don't know. I think it was a little bit of bourbon. But this episode just has such a good feel vibe, but really nothing really happens, to be honest. I mean, like, obviously it's a special, so it's double length. But the Patchy sections are cool, but they don't really do much. It's just kind of him just being Patchy, introducing himself as a character. And the episode itself, there's not a whole lot of gags. It's really just, you feel good, and then you feel bad because Squidward's an asshole, and then you feel good again because Squidward starts being a fucking decent person. It is cool. It is a cool special, but I'm not really going to put it above anything else on this list, but still, it is Christmas, so you just gotta love it based off vibes and the music and shit in general. But as an episode, in terms of comedy and in terms of gags, it doesn't offer as much as I think the rest of this list does. Now, Something Smells is an episode that I remember thinking was mid when I was little, but rewatching it as an adult, it's funny as fuck. Now, I still think that the concept of the episode is stupid as hell and super uninteresting. SpongeBob just gets bad breath. Like, that's just such a lame-ass idea for an episode. But the jokes that come with this episode are so funny. How long have I been ugly? For as long as I can remember. There once was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. And then just the whole Sunday that SpongeBob makes in the morning is absolutely abhorrent. That's got to be the worst meal I've ever seen somebody make ever. That is disgusting. But just the jokes are just so funny in general. This is the episode, Maybe It's the Way You Dress. SpongeBob just looks fly as fuck. You're kidding me. I'm pretty sure this is the episode where the Sans sound comes from Undertale. Dude got the Sans voice line sound from this episode. That's what I meant to say. God dang. But in general, it's just really funny. At the end, Patrick thinks that SpongeBob made him ugly somehow. And then, SpongeBob realizes that they stink instead of being ugly, and then they just celebrate just being stinky-ass motherfuckers like that's anything to be happy about. Just overall, there's just a lot of good gags here, and it is one of the more funnier episodes, but the plot is just fucking just dumb. Up next, we got Shanghai, and I know a lot of people really like this episode, and I like it too. It's up this high. But I think it's a little overrated because it's a special and because of its gimmick. Now, its gimmick at the time it came out was cool as fuck. The idea of calling in and getting different endings depending on what the people voted on is cool as fuck. The problem is, none of the endings are really that cool or interesting on themselves. Like, they all generally end with them just getting cooked. It's just the ending that you voted for depends on how they get cooked, you know? Depends on how the ghost is going to eat them, the Flying Dutchman. But the lead up to that part is really cool, and I do like a majority of this episode. I just don't really like the end of the Flying Dutchman just deciding to be an asshole and killing SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. I don't know. I just never really liked that bad ending. I don't know. It just kind of makes me feel a little bad, you know, seeing my favorite characters just get absolutely diabolically demolished and devoured. But there are some very, very, very iconic jokes here, like the perfume department. One of the best gags of the show. It's just so iconic. I love the part where they're spinning around a bunch of times and they turn into like figure skaters randomly in a stadium. That gag always stuck with me and is my favorite one of the episode. I love how they just can't scare anybody at all. They're just absolutely horrible at being pirates. Keep going, keep going, keep going. The ship is underwater. Like, it is really funny. Lee. Squidward just gets put in the fly of despair, and bro's just seeing the absolute most abhorrent things known to mankind. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, and it is a special, so it is pretty long. It's paired with Gary Takes a Bath, which is a shorter episode. So, you know, Shanghai is really, really good. It's just, I think that people kind of overrate it a little more than it should be because of, like, its cool pick a path ending, which I don't really think was that interesting to begin with. Now, if the different endings were cooler, then maybe I'd agree with that, but I think Shanghai, you know, it's a cool little ghost episode. It's got the cool vibes, got Patchy the Pirate, but, I'm just not putting it up any higher than this. First off, let me start by saying I absolutely love how they wrote in the lore that April Fool's Day is SpongeBob's favorite holiday, because I don't think that that's ever been anybody's favorite holiday in the entirety of existence ever, but it just makes so much sense for SpongeBob. He just likes just hanging out with people, getting a reaction out of people, just being a happy little goofball and making people's day better, and April Fool's Day is the perfect day just to do silly little jokes that don't actually hurt anybody or do anything. Obviously, like, the prime example is just one of the best moments in the show. Just, what'd you do to my drink? You what? Like, oh my god, and then he just put one ice cube instead of two. It's just such a little goofball. And then we see Squidward just get annoyed over SpongeBob being happy, which, to be fair, is kind of understandable because he does kind of have a little bit of an annoying voice, but Squidward was definitely just an asshole, like usual. Absolutely just donkeyed on SpongeBob, just absolutely bullied him, and then he finally admits, and this is the first time we really do see that Squidward does actually care about all the people in Bikini Bottom, when he finally admits that he does care about everybody, and then obviously at the end he tries to lie and hide his feelings and cope, but Squiddy, you admitted to everybody how you really feel, and I think it was a good karma for Squidward, even though he didn't get physically as hurt as much as SpongeBob. Everybody in Bikini Bottom knows that this dude is a little stone-faced liar. Now, as much as I love the SpongeBob movie, I already said on this video already that it's my favorite movie ever. As much as I love it, King Neptune's design in this episode blows the movie out of the water. I don't know why they changed dude's just entire demeanor. This dude has the ego, he has the pizzazz, he's just got that gruff in his voice. Like this King Neptune, he is him. He brings the aura, for real. And I really like how they made him. They didn't really make him that good of a guy. They kind of made him like a dickhead. They made him like kind of a douchebag, because he would be. I mean, he's the king. He's a god. He has power over all these people, and he's him. So it does make sense that he has a super big ego. And I really like that SpongeBob, of all people, the nicest dude ever, is the one that actually checks King Neptune and actually puts him in his place. And, you know, he realizes that, damn, I'm kind of an asshole. And just the whole moral of this story of, like, one really good thing is better than, like, 1,000 shitty things, you know? It was either 1,000 or 100. I don't remember how many Krabby Patties it was. But, you know, quality over quantity, obviously, every day of the week. It's a tried and true moral, but it's executed really well here. And just the visual style, like the Coliseum kind of vibe and, like, the ring. It's just really cool. The face, like, you know, when King Neptune realizes that his patties really aren't shit, and then he fucking eats SpongeBob and he realizes, damn, this motherfucker can cook. Like, hell yeah, put some respect on SpongeBob's name. And then SpongeBob turns into the god at the end. Wait, King Neptune! This is really funny. And then you got the voice actor of SpongeBob showering for that one gag, Tom Kenny there. That was pretty good. Patrick just never gets fixed. And speaking of Patrick sticking up for his boy SpongeBob in the face of a god. I know I shit on Patrick being kind of a shitty friend, but that was a very W Patrick moment. Shout out to him. And at 72, we got Sailor Mouth, and a lot of you people would say that this episode's about me, because I've gotten quite a few comments of people calling me out for my little potty mouth over here, and I don't do it on purpose, I promise. I don't really mean to cuss as much as I do, it just kind of happens. But for this episode, just SpongeBob and Patrick just swearing out the butt is kind of crazy. And there's some racist jokes too, like nematodes are people too. Those nematodes. Like SpongeBob! What the hell, man? I mean, I guess they did eat his house, so I mean, I understand the slander, but like, come on. Are we dead butt? I'm trying so hard not to cuss for this section. But yeah, overall, this episode, it's pretty good. You know, at the end we see Mr. Krabs' mom, and when he snatches that like nickel or dime out of her pocket when she has a heart attack, that is absolutely diabolical. That just adds to just how much I love Mr. Krabs. And I love how SpongeBob and Patrick are like acting like little kids, like they are so scared of Mr. Krabs. Like, why are you so scared of this man? Like, SpongeBob's out here, we're gonna get 40 lashes. Like, you're a grown man, what are you doing? Go home. Like, what? And then obviously I gotta bring up the fact that the lost audio where the voice actors really were on their cussing got leaked, and you can watch the episode with the replaced voice lines, and it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. And overall, like, escalators! Eels. It's just such good timing. It's just all around. It's just a pretty funny episode. It's kind of crazy that it even was allowed to air. Squidward on Strike is a very good political commentary on a lot of the world, at least consumer culture, where people do not care how much somebody is exploited and, like, slaved away at labor. Like, as long as they get their product, as long as they get their burger and their fucking kelp shake, they don't give a damn. And it's pretty funny, actually, to see, like, Squidward saying all this stuff. He is spitting hard facts. And then Bikini Bottom's like, yeah, I'm hungry, let's go eat. And then they just walk right through him and go right into the establishment. It's pretty funny. I do like how Mr. Krabs eventually does crack right before Squidward does. Like, Squidward's about to bolt to Mr. Krabs and beg for his job back. And then Mr. Krabs like, I'm on a walk. Or whatever bullshit excuse he has. And then, I love, like, hey, can you sign my spatula? You're a legend. Yeah, I'm here to replace you. Like, what a little asshole. A little bitch-ass fry cook. And then, obviously, the iconic, the Krusty Krab is unfair. Mr. Krabs is in there. It's such a good chant. And then at the very end, SpongeBob goes in and just completely manhandles the entire Krusty Krab, breaks it down to every last floorboard and nail. And when I was little, the ending of this episode creeped me out a little bit, seeing Squidward and SpongeBob like dead as like skeletons working for all of eternity. It was a little bit of a creepier ending. As an adult now, it is pretty funny, like the idea that these guys are so broke that they have to work forever. That's pretty funny. But it did creep me out a little bit when I was younger. Bubble Buddy might just be the funnest episode to say out loud. Like, say it right now, Bubble Buddy, Bubble Buddy, Bubble Buddy. It's just a fun thing to say. And Bubble Buddy's pretty good. The reveal at the end that Bubble Buddy was alive the entire time, it's pretty good. The Bubble Money gag where Mr. Krabs is like, I love Bubble Buddy! Tattoos his name on his chest, one of everything! And then finds out that he's out only getting paid in Bubble Buddy, and then crashes out and goes to stalk him. Everybody waiting in line to take a piss, and then Bubble Buddy's just in there absolutely doing nothing. Bubble Buddy also just let that dude die, by the way. He let that dude in the sand, and then Bubble Buddy was alive the whole time, and it did not help him. So, what the fuck, Bubble Buddy? And then, you know, it's getting weird. I'm out of here. See you later, SpongeBob. Like, yeah, I'd get out of here too. Everybody wants to kill him. The end where there's that last bubble after SpongeBob runs away and Squidward like doesn't know what to do. He's just like, hi. And obviously got to shout out Happy Leif Erikson Day. It never fails to boggle my mind how fucking dumb the concept of this episode is, because it's just so goofy. I understand SpongeBob and Patrick not understanding that Wormy is a caterpillar, but Sandra, why the fuck would you name a caterpillar Wormy? Like, why would you do that? That's so fucking dumb. And then they think that this butterfly's a monster, literally the most gentle creature ever. No, actually, that's not true. Did you know that butterflies can actually bitch out hummingbirds? Is that not insane? Imagine getting bitched out by a butterfly. That's actually diabolical. But no, the fact that this entire town is scared of this monster, it's like, imagine what would have happened if we didn't warn the city, and it's just the city is just absolutely just destroyed. Shit looks like, I'm not gonna say that, but it's cooked. So, and then Sandy comes back, maybe I should go out of town more often. And just the whole time they just think that this innocent little butterfly just mauled their best friend. It's actually so goofy. Match 68, we got the hall monitor, and this episode just has some incredible jokes. The wanted sign, the picture of SpongeBob holding the thing looking for the maniac as he's the maniac in the wanted poster, might be one of my favorite still frames from this entire show. I use that in discussions all the time. It is so funny. And then the wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. The maniac is in the mailbox. Calm down, son. It's just a drawing. Like, this entire episode is so iconic. The only reason it's not up any higher is because the first, like, 2.5 minutes in the boating school, like I said, I don't really like the boating school sections, and SpongeBob just stalling his ass off to run the clock is a little boring, but once we actually get to him being, like, the maniac and him being the hall monitor out in the street and just ruining everything, it is absolutely a peak episode, but the first, like, 25% in the boating school area is just not the most interesting. Up next, we got the camping episode, one of the most iconic episodes of the show, the CAMPFIRESONG song. Gotta love the campfire song. The visuals, like the music video going on, it looks so cool. And then just the whole absurdity of, like, you gotta draw a circle to keep this bear from mauling you. It's just so goofy. It's just so dumb. And then you gotta wear, like, a hat. You gotta wear, like, silk underpants. It's just, there's so many dumbass rules. It's just so fucking dumb for all these animals, like the rhino. And then, that's an oval. Don't run away. He hates that. And then goes back and just starts eating him. Like, it's so funny. And I also love how the hat that he wears in this episode is from the one of the boxes that he opens in the Idiot Box episode where he tries to sit in the box. So that's kind of a cool, because I'm pretty sure those two episodes were paired together here. I could be wrong about that, but if they were, I think that's pretty cool. And just overall, yeah, it's just funny. It's just it's pretty iconic. It's pretty memorable. The song is super memorable. Write that down. Write that down. This is such a good meme. Squidward just crashing out, not being able to put a tent up. Him not being able to go back in and get a can opener because that's not really camping. So, yeah, the camping episode coming in at 6-7. I remember the day I seen this episode for the first time. It was in my grandma's living room. I was like 9 years old. And this episode absolutely traumatized me because I was in the living room all by myself. Nobody else was in there. She was like making dinner in the kitchen. And so I was just in there by myself just watching it. And the ending where he just deflates and his face like shrinks down like a balloon, that shit used to creep the fuck out of me. And then like him like tweaking out. Like in the last like 75% of this episode, he's just tweaking out. I don't really know what he's going, like he's actually going nuts. This dude is so paranoid of SpongeBob, and it's like, and the whole time the close sign was up. Oh my god, what a good twist. It's almost like we could have took the whole day off. Like, oh my god, I might actually have to just blow up the Krusty Krab at that point. I'm not even gonna lie, I'd actually go crazy. Now we get a little bit of a shorter episode with Gary Takes a Bath, and I feel like a lot of people would put this relatively low because it's just kind of a filler episode. Nothing really happens, but I just love the visual gags here. Tom and Jerry is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and this episode really does have that Tom and Jerry energy. Like, it's just visual gag after visual gag after visual gag. It's just really funny. And just Gary not wanting to take a bath. Like, we've all had a pet that just hates water, hates taking a bath. And just, so it's pretty relatable. And just all the gags, like the leapfrog, and then he cracks Gary's shell, and he goes, hey, let's play leapfrog again, and just dunk. Gary just hits him with the cane, the subliminal messages, and then like the Like the creepy ass girl pops up and he goes, "Sorry you had to see that." And then this episode literally has my favorite joke in the entire show. When he says, "I'd give $1 to the next person to take a bath," and Mr. Krabs, who's not in the rest of the episode, hasn't been in the episode, he just appears, crashes through the wall in a bathtub like it's a car, snatches the dollar and zooms off. That is so fucking funny. It is actually unreal how funny it is. It's so out of nowhere. He's just such a cheap ass, greedy ass motherfucker. It's just absolutely fucking, it's so funny. But just overall, just the entire episode is just Gary just being a little bit of a shithead. You gotta love it because Gary's just so lovable 99% of the time. So seeing him just be a little bastard, it's a really enjoyable watch. However, there is one thing about this episode that I do want to bring up. Now, I'm not the woke little pussy friend. I don't get offended very often. However, I will say the rape joke, I think it's much. I think it's too much. It shouldn't have been in the episode. I know that kids aren't going to catch that joke, but still, the fact that I'm just enjoying an episode of SpongeBob and then SpongeBob just casually brings up the fact that, like, yeah, people are just brutally raped in prison, yo. Like, don't drop the soap. Like, that's pretty fucking crazy. I don't know. It really kills my vibe. Because especially of all characters to make that joke, like if Mr. Krabs made the joke or if Squidward made the joke, okay, fine. But SpongeBob? You're telling me SpongeBob just chills at home and makes prison rape jokes to his pet snail? Like, cut it out! Now, Karate Choppers goes under the radar a little bit, but this one's a fucking classic. This one's got so many gags, so many funny jokes, and it's got Mr. Krabs acting crazy. This dude went on a little racist thing. He sniffed Sandy, he goes, "Mammals." Like, what? Bro, your daughter's a mammal. Like, what? What do you got against mammals, little bro? But just the Sandy's worst disguise, the hot sauce that's really, really hot, the fake tongue novelty toy, and then at the end, karate? Right now? Like, bro's actually a fiend. And then, I love karate. I love money, eh? I hate all of you. Like, Squidward, you're such an asshole. I'm Your Biggest Fanatic is a little weird because it's really funny, but I do think it does mischaracterize SpongeBob a little bit. But then at the end of the episode, he becomes like king of the jellyfish hunters or spotters or whatever the fuck anyway. So I don't really care that they kind of made him a weird, obsessed, like bitch ass weirdo at the start of this episode. But he quickly realizes that it's not about following the idol. It's about just doing what you like and having fun. And then Patrick just simply does not understand that motto and kidnaps Jeffrey the jellyfish. Like, come on. But really why I have this episode up this high is just because of the jokes. It's just funny. Like that one dude, whap, whap, whap. Like that dude sells the episode every single time. It's fucking hilarious. And like I mentioned earlier, I think it's cool that in headcanon, at least in my headcanon, because I heard somebody say this, that this is the jellyfish convention that SpongeBob went to, and I was a teenage Gary. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if that was intended or not, but if it was, that's pretty freaking neat. Wah, wah, wah. Now, I didn't remember pre-hibernation week that much, so it was a really pleasant surprise at how much I liked this episode. I really liked the different visual styles, like the industrial park. That was really cool. I liked a lot of the gags. The one bowling ball meme comes from this one where it rolls on top of his head and he looks just like an absolute dumbass holding the jacks. Find the haystack in the needle, or find the hay in the needle stack, whatever the fuck. They like start like fighting on top of the giant needle. Like, this episode is nuts. There's so much dangerous, crazy stuff going on. And then the part where Sandy's in like the watchtower, I'm ready, no you ain't. Like, oh my god, that part's so funny. Think of the children. You're right, put the children in small spaces where you can't reach. Like, it's just, this episode's just so funny. The visual style is so funny, really expands Sandy's character. It's just such a good time. It's really, really funny. Well, you know I couldn't split them up. If I'm going to have pre-hibernation week, I got to put Survival of the Idiots right next to it. So Survival of the Idiots is pretty much a part 2 of pre-hibernation week, where now she's actually hibernating in the winter, and SpongeBob and Patrick are just being absolute dumbasses. Do not come in my dome. I have a video for you. This means you, SpongeBob. Don't come in. Dumbasses walk in and get absolutely cooked by Sandy. I'm Dirty Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan. I'm Dirty Dan. Who you calling, Pinhead? This episode is just so iconic and so memorable. It's funny. It's low-key kind of scary. Like, Sandy looks like a fucking bear when she's hibernating. Like, this bitch is a little squirrel, and she turns into, like, this big-ass grizzly bear. It's fucking hilarious. Now, Walking Small is the worst Plankton episode of Season 1, but it's still a fucking banger, man. Walking Small is absolutely hilarious. I can deny it no longer. I am small. And just the whole idea of him trying to just trick SpongeBob to clear out the beach while just trying to teach SpongeBob to be an asshole. But SpongeBob is just so nice. Now let him have it. Okay, you can have it. Be assertive. Beep, 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 beep. Like, it's so many just funny little gags. It's just absolutely perfect, and it takes place at Goo Lagoon, which wasn't really seen that much in season 1, so it's cool to come back to the beach. And it's just I don't know, just vibe wise, just character wise, between SpongeBob and Plankton, it's very different to Fun, but it also has like the same like it has the same vibes as Fun, but it takes it in a completely different way. It would have been really easy to have them be like very similar episodes, but they just feel completely different. And I really do applaud season 1 for being able to take two episodes that have a very similar concept and just execute them completely differently. And then the twist at the end, you used me for land development. Now, when I was little, I only remembered this episode for the song at the end, because it is a banger. You bake a loop-de-loop and pole, and your shoes are looking cool. But I forgot how good the actual episode itself is, and there's a lot of cool, funny, memorable parts. You have the part where Gary is the only one underwater that knows how to tie shoes. That's such a funny twist. You got the Flying Dutchman doing all these different convoluted knots, but not just a regular bunny ear knot. You got when Patrick walks in and SpongeBob still doesn't know how to tie his shoes, so he just slams his feet through the floorboards. It's absolutely hilarious. And we see a bit of that SpongeBob ego. This is season 2, but it still kind of has season 1 characteristics, which is another reason why I like this episode so much, where like SpongeBob still got like his ego. Like, he doesn't want to look like a dumbass in front of Patrick, so he's like, yeah, of course I know how to tie my shoes. I'm the best at tying my shoes. It just takes practice and it takes concentration. And then meanwhile, the whole time SpongeBob's just bullshitting his ass off, doesn't know how to tie his shoes at all. And then the flashback, they've been tied as long as I can remember. Like, this dude has never tied his shoes. Come on. And then he's also watching some freaky ass shit on the TV when Gary walks in. Bro changed it to the sports channel instantly. Like, SpongeBob, what are you doing, bro? It's easy to forget how many iconic moments Jellyfish Hunter has, because it's easy to just remember as, okay, this is the episode where SpongeBob has to save the jellyfish from Mr. Krabs at the end. Give it all you got. Dance, dance, dance. Bro's listening to that song in his headphones through his eyeballs. I love that song. Song's so fire. But there's so much more to this episode, like the start where Fred tries the Krabby Patty with jelly. Hey, all you people. Hey, all you people. Like, bro was loving that Krabby Patty jelly. And then Mr. Krabs like, more. And he has like the weird face in one of the parts. And then you get the part where the blue jellyfish is like creepily stalking SpongeBob. I feel like there's someone trying to sell me something. Shh, I told you he was onto us. You get the part where like dude's like breathing through the phone, the jellyfish like stalks SpongeBob in his house, brings him to the jellyfish factory, and then of course you got the part where SpongeBob does have to free them. And it's just overall, it's just a who would be behind this terrible monstrosity, and then it's just Mr. Krabs jamming, give it all you got. Dance, 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 give it all you got. Like, it's just such a really good episode. It's really easy to forget how just good this episode is, because, you know, the jellyfish episodes, like, they are a little forgettable, but when you go back and rewatch them, it's like, damn, this one has a lot of substance to it. Everything about this episode is just straight up obnoxious. The way Mr. Krabs fires Squidward over a dime. Obnoxious. The way Squidward goes from happy to just broke and just on the street in a millisecond. Obnoxious. The way that Squidward becomes so untitled. Obnoxious. The way SpongeBob just lets this man live in his house without doing anything about it. Obnoxious. The way SpongeBob has a maid outfit, backside cheeks open. Triple obnoxious. When I need a job done, I get someone with a job to do the job. What are you saying? Like, dude, this crash out in this episode. Listen, you crustaceous cheapskate. Squidward living in my house, and you're not gonna hire him back all because of a stupid dime. Like, bro actually tweaked out, deservedly so. Like, that situation should have never happened. SpongeBob, he's just too nice. Let Squidward walk all over him. And it's just the whole premise of this episode is just nuts. And Gary telling SpongeBob, like, bro, he's a bum, kick him out, he's not getting a job. And SpongeBob's like, no, he'll get there eventually, he just needs to get back on his feet. And eventually SpongeBob just can't take it no more. And then and then when Squidward tweaks out against Mr. Krabs, you want to see my tentacles? Here, and just grips all his eyes. Mr. Krabs was not expecting that. And then the ending reveal of the dime just being this fucking huge ass boulder like fucking circle, like just this big ass Fred Flintstone ass dime is so funny. Like, how in tarnation could Squidward ever have stole that and pocketed that? Like, this whole episode is just obnoxious. Now, Squeaky Boots is our first Mr. Krabs-based episode, so you already know I'm going to love it, because he's my favorite. But the fact that this is like a psychological metaphor and like connection to Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart, and they just executed it phenomenally, it's just absolutely great. So like, if you know the Edgar Allan Poe story, like, you just instantly catch on what's going on. And it just fits the vibe of the episode so well. Like, the Squeaky Boots, he starts hearing the squeak, he starts going crazy with guilt, he admits it's here under the floorboards. Like, he actually goes crazy. It's just such a cool episode. Just visually, it looks really cool. Like, when he starts tweaking out, like, the visual style, it really does just look like a living nightmare, and it's super cool. And then, like, after the end, he swallows the boots, and then he finally does that thing for Pearl, and then he starts burping up the squeaking boots, obviously showing his punishment of him now has to listen to his own hiccups for like a few hours, or maybe even a couple days. And it's just a really good episode. It teaches guilt. It has a good morale. Like, just don't be an asshole and lie to other people for greed, because he absolutely exploited the shit out of SpongeBob, and the greed caught up to him, and he eventually faced his karma. And I just think overall it's a good episode. It's animated really well. It's based off my favorite character. It has a really good meaning. It has a really good reference. It just slaps. One of the most memorable episodes to me. I watched this one all the time when I was little. Inside this very box is the most secrety secret in all of secretdom, and I am its sole witness. Like, it's such a good episode. Not even Squidward's house. And then his house is trying to peek into the box. And just the absolute foreshadowing of Patrick pulling SpongeBob's tongue to open the box. Obviously showing that you need to pull the string that shows an embarrassing picture of SpongeBob at the Christmas party. Patrick was being an asshole in this episode, but SpongeBob was also being an asshole. Patrick shouldn't have been showing off his box, trying to make SpongeBob want to look at it, and then SpongeBob shouldn't have been trying to invade his privacy and break into his house. They used every single fucking sound effect at Nickelodeon headquarters in this episode when SpongeBob was trying to sneak into his house. And just overall, it's just such a really good episode. Do you think that's a good idea, Gary? No. Like, it's really funny. It's really good. It's really iconic, and it's pretty simple. Visually, not a whole lot going on. It's just SpongeBob trying to get into this cardboard box, but it just has so many funny gags, like the milk. The inner makings of my mind are an enigma. And then it's just milk falling over in his head. Like, bro's actually a dumbass. Yeah, no, Secret Box is goated. Now, I mean this with no exaggeration. I think Help Wanted is the best pilot episode ever made. It tells you exactly what to expect from this show. It sets up the characters that we need to know, importantly, and it also doesn't introduce you to every single character of the show. Like, it introduces you to Patrick, SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs, and Squidward. That's all you really need to know. And it executes its ideas just so phenomenally with, like, the anchovies, that smelly smell, the smell that smells smelly. It has, like, an iconic song. It has an iconic, and I know the song isn't made for SpongeBob, but I'm saying, like, the song's pretty iconic. SpongeBob's got quite a few episodes that end with, like, a good song, and this is one of them. It has really cool visual style. It has, like, the waves in the water of the anchovies. Like, that's just such a creative idea. It shows that SpongeBob really wants to be a fry cook, really wants to make Krabby Patties, abilities, and it shows that he's really good at his fucking job. It shows that Mr. Krabs and Squidward are kind of assholes, and they'll try to exploit someone beneath them just for their own amusement, for fun, just to be like dickheads. And it shows that while Squidward doesn't have the capacity to overgrow his hatred for SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs does, because he's a greedy ass motherfucker. He's like, you know what, as long as he makes money, he's part of the team. Welcome aboard, little sailor. And Patrick being the hype man. Patrick's dumb as fuck, but he's still trying to help his friend out. And just overall, it just sets up the underwater, it just sets up the environment and the atmosphere very well. Like when you watch this episode, you're like, okay, I know what SpongeBob is about. Let's get into the show. And it's just an absolute delightful watch every single time. The fact that it's the first episode is just really good. Some of the characters do look a little off model, especially Squidward with his color, but I don't mind it. Like they were just getting shit worked out. And I think that this episode is really, really good, especially Squidward trying to wipe off the Squidward's a loser thing on the front of the Krusty Krab. It's just an amazing pilot. Tea at the Tree Domes, the episode that introduces Sandy, the I don't need it, I don't need it, I need it. This episode is so good. It's so funny. Patrick thinking that SpongeBob's just being a little weak pussy. Meanwhile, he's just actually dying. Patrick walks in there in the first 2 seconds. What kind of place is this? I love the idea that Sandy is introduced as like this living like land creature underwater, and the SpongeBob like, that's a land squirrel. Like that's cool, and he's like actually interested in meeting her, and he actually has a bit of a crush and actually kind of wants to take her out on a date, but he's nervous. They did kind of retcon that into them just being friends. I preferred if they would have kind of been like flirty little like lovers, but not like super duper like a couple. Like kind of like in Karate Choppers, they were still like kind of flirty, whatever. Kind of wish they kind of took more of that role, but I understand them wanting to just be friends because it is like a kid's show. You don't want Sandy and SpongeBob getting it in, you know what I mean? So it probably was better if they just stayed as friends. But in this first episode, SpongeBob was definitely a little nervous. Dude was definitely fluttering, stuttering, cuttering. Bro was nervous to meet this little baddie. Her name was Cheeks too. He's like, bro, her name's Cheeks. Yeah, I gotta meet her. Holy, ain't no way. But this episode's super cool. The way it sets up like Sandy's tree dome, it's such a cool set piece in the show. One of the most iconic parts of the show, like her air bubble underwater. It's just really cool. It introduces Sandy as a character really well. She, hold on, little square dude, frees him from the clam. And it's just a really good one. The Algae's Always Greener is a fantastic start to Season 3. It's a Plankton episode. He transforms himself into Mr. Krabs' life, and he realizes that the algae isn't always greener, He realizes that Mr. Krabs got a lot of fuck-ass shit to deal with. The sauce. You're using too much sauce. You think this is funny? In a cosmic sort of way, yes. Good grief, he's naked! Like, there's so many iconic parts of this episode. I don't really have much to say about it because it really is just pretty self-explanatory. I mean, Plankton changes his life with Mr. Krabs, realizes Mr. Krabs' life is way harder than his, and goes back to just being a happy little dude in the chum bucket eating his holographic meatloaf. Plankton did say something freaky in this. I've never reviewed anything except for those foreign exercise videos my cousin sent me. Like, what? What are you talking about? What are you, little green gooner? Get out of here. All right, sit down for this one, because I have quite a bit to say about SpongeBob's House Party. And yes, I do know it says Party Pooper Pants, but the actual episode is SpongeBob's House Party. It's a Patchy special, and the Patchy segments in this episode are absolutely great. They're phenomenal. I don't really need to speak on too much. The song at the Underwater Sun, Underwater Fun, whatever it's called, great. The gags with the birds trying to get them to walk the plank and then they can just fly away because they're birds. The fact he's trying to hit on the mermaid, she doesn't like him, so he pokes a hole in her pool and is about to kill her because she's gonna like suffocate in air. It's absolutely hilarious. But the things that people don't like about this episode are the SpongeBob segments, because he has a big ego. He's like a whiny, entitled brat. And I don't understand how people don't think this is in SpongeBob's character, because it totally is. We've seen time and time again, this dude does have a big ego, right? I'm pretty sure this episode's from Season 3. This dude has a big-ass ego. We've seen this in Season 1, and we've definitely seen it in Season 2. So the fact that people act like, oh, well, it's so out of character. He usually just wants to get along and make everybody happy. This is true. But he also wants to be the reason that people are happy. And so the fact that the party goes cattywampus off of his schedule because he gets locked out of his house, of course he's going to get mad. Of course he's going to be pissed off. And of course he's like, if he has everything scheduled the way he wants to go, because SpongeBob thinks that if he does it his way, it's going to go perfectly. Obviously, we know it's not. And I do agree, SpongeBob is being a jackass in this episode, but it's not out of character. It's a very good moment, or it's a very good episode of SpongeBob to realize, like, damn, I shouldn't be as controlling. Like, I shouldn't be as impulsive against these people. Like, I just need to let things vibe out and be chill, you know? Because we've definitely seen this happen quite a few times where SpongeBob's just fine and dandy as long as he's the reasons people's happy. But when other reasons are the reason why people are happy, yeah, he's starting to get pissed off. He's starting to feel left out. He wants in on the fun. And especially when he doesn't get to lead the bunny hop, of course he's gonna tweak out. But now let me speak on some of the jokes and gags. They're all pretty funny. SpongeBob getting arrested for trying to break into his own house, and then they're like, oh, okay, it's just a misunderstanding, and then he goes in jail for not inviting the police to the party, which is such a bullshit reason to get arrested, but, it is kind of funny seeing him get, like, bullshittily arrested. Like, dude did not deserve that at all, but at the same time, he kind of did, because he was being an asshole the whole time. We get like more of Larry's kind of character. Like, this dude really is the type of dude to brush his teeth and use someone else's comb in their bathroom after taking a shit in their bathroom. Like, he's just kind of a douchebag. The start at the very beginning in the store is pretty funny. Like, yeah, they're on sale right now for free, but you have to leave right now. Oh, it's a picture of you when you first started working here. He's so happy. And then it's like, and then after seeing SpongeBob, he just becomes a depressed as fuck. But overall, I really like this episode a lot. Obviously, it's this high. And I did have a lot to say there because some people just be yapping about this episode sucking. And I'm like, no, brother, this episode is goated. You just don't get it. Starting off the top 50, we got Pizza Delivery. This is quite a few people's favorite episode, and a lot of people are going to think I put this too low. And it definitely is iconic, and it definitely is pretty good, but it's not my favorite. I will say, though, this is one of my favorite title cards with, like, the orange and the blue with the black. I think that's a very nice color combo. It looks really pretty. But this episode is definitely one of the most iconic. You know, SpongeBob and Squidward have to go on a journey together, delivering this pizza. Things go crazy. There's a storm. SpongeBob dancing in the road trying to be a hitchhiker. He almost gets hit by a fucking car. Squidward has to protect him. At the very end, the dude's a complete asshole. Where's my drink? You forgot my drink? And then Squidward comes back, well, this one's on the house. Definitely gotta love to see Squidward stand up for SpongeBob. Sure did. Ate the whole thing in one bite. And just, it's not a boulder. It's a rock. It's pretty good one. Definitely up this high for a reason, but I don't think it does anything to put it like in my top 10 or like my number one. I definitely think every episode after this is definitely better. But still, this one's pretty good, and I do understand why people do like it so much because it is just a solid SpongeBob and Squidward episode. We do have a little bit of Mr. Krabs jokes in there too, like he just punches up a couple Krabby Patties, it turns into a fucking pizza somehow. It's a really cool visual gag, and yeah, I mean, Pizza Delivery speaks for itself. It's one of the most iconic episodes from the show. Welcome to the Chum Bucket has a very evil vibe to it. It's very dark, very dingy, very grungy. We really get a good look at the Chum Bucket itself. We really get a good look at how evil Plankton is. Like, we've seen him, like, be manipulative. We've seen him emotionally blackmail SpongeBob. We've seen him try to just, like, creep on him. In episodes we haven't talked about yet. We've seen an episode where he controls him in his brain. But this episode, he really threatens him, like, bro, I'm gonna kill you and take your brain out and put it in a robot if you do not obey my commands. Like, this dude is evil. This episode's got a great song. This grill is not a home. It's not the same. Like, this song is really good. Really, really good. Plankton goes from being evil to trying to be like fake nice to try to get SpongeBob to work for him, and it doesn't work. And SpongeBob eventually becomes an entitled, spoiled brat, and then Plankton eventually does rip his brain out. But at the end of the episode, he puts it back in, so I guess it didn't kill him like everybody thought it would. Because, the episode had to have a happy ending at some point, but overall, this episode just has such a different vibe to it. It's really good. It's really funny. Why don't you ask me later, Half Pint? I'm in the mood for tacos. We really need to get in there and make some Krabby Patties. Like Plankton was really starting to lose it. At the end, we find out that Plankton cheated anyway, so he never deserved SpongeBob in the first place. Mr. Krabs betting SpongeBob's contract is just insane. Like, you can't just bet another person without their consent. Like, what is going on? This slave labor trafficking going on in SpongeBob. What the hell? And of course, how could I not mention doop 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 doop. Start digging in your butt, twin. Squilliam returns. Not to this list or anything. This is the first time he's been here, but Squilliam returns is pretty solid. It's all around just a really good episode. I really like the vibe of the fancy restaurant at the very end. Has some very nice visual style. We definitely get to see more of Squilliam being a dickhead in this one. Like in Band Geeks, he was just kind of a jerk, but in this episode, he's like really an asshole. Which kind of sucks that he doesn't really get his comeuppance at the end because he can just kind of leave and do whatever. But it does kind of teach you a moral of, hey, just because someone's an asshole, they're not always going to get their karma, you know? You just kind of got to let on and let live. May I take your hat, sir? May I take your hat, sir? Part's hilarious. Mr. Krabs acting like he's the chef, only to find out he was like the janitor, the chef of the SS Diarrhea. Disgusting. And then obviously it kind of has a message about if you overwork yourself and stay too committed for a fucking dickhead ass boss, you're gonna end up going crazy like SpongeBob does. Family memories. Down the shredder. Jellyfishing. Down the shredder. It's just it's really cool. It's got some cool visual style. It's got some funny memes, of course, and you know, SpongeBob popping off near the end to kind of set up the whole restaurant was really cool of him. Obviously, it does end up going wrong when Squilliam asks him his name, but for the time being, SpongeBob really locked in and low-key kind of clutched this episode for a few minutes. Now, you might be a little surprised to see Bubble Stand so high up, but I just think it's a really funny one. Got a lot of classic gags. This is the first episode that takes place between, like, the neighborhood, like SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick. It's the first episode of SpongeBob and Patrick, you know, fucking with Squidward. And, of course, like, SpongeBob being able to do all these fantastical bubbles, and Squidward can't do shit, and he just gets so jealous. And then the technique. Oh, my gosh, the technique. First you do this. Spin around, stop. Double take 3 times. A 1, a 2, a 3. And pelvic thrust. Woo! Woo! Stop on your right foot. Don't forget it. Then it's time to bring it around town. Bring it around town. Then you do this and that and this and that and this and that. And then... It's such a classic episode. It really is. And then one of my favorite jokes. Oh my God. SpongeBob does an elephant. It's doing like the... And then Patrick's dumbass. It's a giraffe. He's so fucking stupid. You have to start where it's like, oh, nice and quiet. Immediately, just starts pounding the bubble stand up. And it's just all around just such a funny ass episode. Definitely has my favorite vibes from like season 1. Like these are the season 1 vibes that I really like about season 1. And it's episodes like Bubble Stand that really make season 1 my favorite because they're just fun, goofy, and they just got a lot of memorable quotes, man. Procrastination is one of the most memorable episodes to me because I just relate to it so much, especially with someone that has ADHD. The part of SpongeBob doing that shit with the chair was me in class all the time back in elementary school. I remember when I seen it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like SpongeBob. The visual style of like the nightmare is super cool, especially when he looks outside and it's just like, well, this isn't part of the nightmare, but when he looks outside and it's just this nice, beautiful, sunny, absolutely gorgeous day. Like it has never looked like that in Bikini Bottom ever. And then it goes from that nice peaceful vibe to this horrifying, like surreal ass, like weird nightmare section. Like it's super cool how the episode goes through all these different things. Like it starts off as like, oh, he's just bored inside the same room, and then like just the visual style of everything that happens, it's just so fucking cool. And then the blank, it's so perfect. And then I really like the part. I think they ended up cutting this part out of future episodes, but the part where it's like, just wait till I get my driver's license. And then it's just a real life video of a car crash. Like that shit is so fucking hilarious. It's so funny. And just overall, this episode's a good mix of just funny parts and also memorable, kind of weird, eerie parts that definitely stick with you for years after you watch it. It's a really good one. Mermaid Man Barnacle Boy 3, the one with Man Ray. And Man Ray is such a cool villain. For him to only be for SpongeBob is actually crazy, because he could low-key be like a real-life, cool-ass supervillain. And he's just such a good character. So many gags, so many jokes. Just the entire, like, I don't even really know what to call out here because so much of the episode is just, it's just so good. It's just consistently good gags and good jokes. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the Mermalair, like the cave in general. It's obviously very clearly a spoof off the Batcave. Just kind of this dirty, grungy kind of cave. I'm not the biggest fan aesthetically wise, but it makes Man Ray's colors pop, like the blue and the red. It really does contrast and pop out compared to like the dolish kind of background. But it is one thing I do want to call out that is by far my least favorite part of the episode. It's just, I don't know. I don't really like the cave that much. But Man Ray himself, just such a classic, funny ass character. And at the end, it's even got little poodles. Like he goes from being this evil, probably the most evil villain of the show. Well, is Man Ray more evil than Plankton? I don't really know. But he's definitely up there. And for him going from super evil to just wanting checks with little poodles on them because they're cute and adorable is just, it's so funny. There's nothing about this episode that is not funny. Like, every single joke lands for me. And it's just fucking hilarious. Especially when Patrick's all like beat up. And oh my God, the wallet joke. That makes sense to me. It's not my wallet. I make the "it makes sense to me" joke all of the time. And it's so fucking funny. It's so fucking hilarious just how dumb Patrick is. Pranks-A-Lot is the last episode of this list. Chronologically, it is the season 3 finale, and it's just all around a pretty good one. We get to see all the cast pretty much for one last time. They go around pranking everybody, scaring everybody. It's got some good gags like the exploding gum, Patrick being a dumbass trying to get his peanut brittle, and the snakes pop out, and then he does it again in the magic shop. And then they become invisible, and it's such a cool concept for them to just like be invisible, and they immediately decide to be little menaces. It's really great. I really like the Sandy gag where when she gets scared, she immediately takes the escape pod back to Texas. It's super funny. It's a lot of funny jokes. The ending with Mr. Krabs, Mr. Krabs, my favorite. I gotta call that out every time. And seeing him like be scared, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. And then like he has a specter deflector, his like handcuffed feet, his barrel, his hat, like his foxy grandpa. Like he's got all these like charms and knickknacks and goodads, and it just doesn't do anything. They just go boo, and then he just gets so scared. And after seasons of seeing Mr. Krabs fuck with SpongeBob, we finally get to see SpongeBob get one back on Mr. Krabs. And they would have got away with it too if it wasn't for the meddling dollars. They try to fucking burn one of Mr. Krabs' dollars. He tweaks out, splashes water on him. It knocks the invisible paint off. And then Mr. Krabs does end the show with pranking SpongeBob and Patrick one more time for the Bikini Bottom ghosts. And it's just all around. It's a really happy ending. Obviously, SpongeBob and Patrick do get their comeuppance at the very end, but they low-key deserved it. They were being assholes, truly. Especially when they ate Mrs. Puff's cake. Like, you know how expensive that cake probably was? Like, goodness gracious, y'all just stole it. Ain't no way. Ghost, 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 toast. Culture Shock is just an undeniable classic. Everything about this episode from start to finish is just fucking peak. Culture Shock, obviously the most iconic part, has the Squidward dance. Oh, it's so perfect. It's so funny. And the way they don't give a fuck about his performance at all. But when SpongeBob starts mopping up the place, and they love it. They go crazy. It's just so perfect. It's such a perfect gag. And I really like the way that they use the Krusty Krab. Like, they could have just did a regular auditorium. But no, they put like a stage in the Krusty Krab. They made it revolve around the Krusty Krab. And that was definitely to its benefit. It was really cool to see like the Krusty Krab turned into like a little night show, nightclub kind of thing. It was really cool. And just overall, all the acts were fire. SpongeBob's act being by far the coolest, and Squidward just shitting on it for no reason. Like, that hippo top hat cane dance was peak. That shit was awesome. And then I think Squidward's still just a little salty from Bubble Stand, to be honest with you. Hating ass little motherfucker. And then just when Mr. Krabs starts making money off the tomatoes because they hate Squidward so much. It's just absolutely perfect, and it's so funny. And there's another episode that kind of does this similar thing later that also turns the Krusty Krab into a nightclub, and that one's a little bit better. But you got to throw respect to the OG Krusty Krab nightclub kind of thing. It's really good. It's really good. I love season 1. It's so good. And now we got the season 2 finale, Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm. And everybody remembers remembers the Alaskan bullworm. I remember this episode so much when I was little, man. And every single time it came on, I absolutely loved it. All of the gags, the lead up to the Alaskan bullworm, like SpongeBob just begging Sandy not to go to the worm. And then you get to the worm and it's kind of an anticlimactic disappointment. But it's also cool to see Sandy win the fight. And then it's like, that's his tongue. Oh, this is his tongue, and the whole thing is the worm. It's such good timing and delivery. And you can't even forget the part at the beginning when Mr. Krabs just starts tweaking out, I'd rather you all die, instead of giving up his money to pay someone to take down the worm, and he just starts crying. It's so perfect. Mr. Krabs is just biblical amounts of greed, for real. And just, of course, the ending where they push Bikini Bottom and move it somewhere else. And then the worm lands on Bikini Bottom and kills everybody. Just what a delightful finale. Just everyone just fucking dies. Perfect. But no, it's very funny. Visual gags are there. The audio gags are there, like the comedic timing, and just the reveal of the worm is just perfect. Jellyfish Jam coming in as my favorite jellyfishing episode. Now, it's a little easy to confuse this one with Jellyfish Hunter because when you think jam, you might think of like the jelly jam that they put in the Krabby Patties, but no, in this episode, Jam is talking about the music. You got the rave, dude, the rave is so good. It's so good. It's so iconic. All the jellyfish start coming in and fucking up SpongeBob's house. The visual style of just all the jellyfish eating jelly everywhere. It's so cool. It's such a unique episode, especially for how early in the show it was. The visual style of the rave itself, like all the different colors and stuff. You know, rest in peace to all the epileptic people, because that episode probably put you in a little bit of a deep state. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it's going a little crazy. But the song is super good, and then the song at the end, the la 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 la, and then the fact that Gary saves the day. This is the first time I think we see Gary come in clutch. And it's just all around. It's just a really good episode. Can you play your clarinet a little better? It's just all around. It's just really good. I really like it. Just the idea of SpongeBob finding a jellyfish, really liking it, letting it into his house, and then it just absolutely goes cattywampus for him. It's just it's always a good time to watch. Starting the top 40, we got Snowball Effect. And I'd put Snowball Effect a little higher because I do like a lot of this episode. Like, I'd love to put it much higher. But there are some sections that I don't really like that much. Like the part where I'm watching the back of Patrick's throat get slammed by balls. I do not want to see that in my life. Please do not show me balls hitting the back of someone's throat. Holy cannoli, what's going on? But the rest of this episode, other than them sus-ass parts, and they go on forever. It's like a good, 30 seconds of just balls hitting Patrick in the neck. I'm like, okay, we get it. Golly, man. But the rest of this episode is absolutely just, it's perfect. It's so good. The gags with oh, that fort's downright puny. Oh, nonsense. If I crouch down, it's just exposed. It's just so many good gags. The snowball fight between SpongeBob and Patrick, it gets heated. Then Squidward gets in. Everything starts going crazy. He tweaks out, builds his own fortress. It's just super good. I just like the vibes, like just how Bikini Bottom looks when it's Christmas time, like when it's wintry and stuff. It looks really cool. And just overall, especially the start when the two kids are about to put the boobs on the mermaid. You don't obviously see them put the boobs on, but you can see both of them holding the snowballs, and it's just like, okay, you little rinky dinkies, come on, cut it out. Mr. Krabs obviously makes a big dollar bill. Plankton's like, I will command the snow, and then it immediately overruns him. Just a lot of funny gags, and I'd put this probably top 20 if it just didn't have them weird-ass parts with Patrick getting absolutely blasted by SpongeBob's balls. Like, you know how crazy that just sounds to say out loud? Like, come on, man. I really like Employee of the Month because it really shows how big of an ego SpongeBob gets. SpongeBob turns into a little bastard. This dude won Employee of the Month how many times in a row? And this dude's getting mad that Squidward might win it once, to the point where he's gonna break into his house and start insulting him, name calling him, breaking his alarm clock so he doesn't wake up. SpongeBob's dead ass the instigator here. I know Mr. Krabs started it, but SpongeBob was just a D1 asshole, man. Like, and it like, I've been better than you, and it'll be 27 tomorrow, or whatever number he says. And it's just like, SpongeBob, you little asshole, man. And then and then they shaking his hand, big nosed lion phony. And just the visual gags of like them dicking each other over, like on the race to the Krusty Krab. Like somehow he gets him caught in like a ship in a bottle, and he just writes loser and dips off. One of them's pulling an anchor, one of them's pulling like a ship or a rock. I don't even remember, but it's just something just absolutely ludicrous. They get to the end of the they get to the end of the episode, and they just completely destroy the Krusty Krab, just absolutely driving Mr. Krabs crazy. All just because Mr. Krabs made a silly joke to SpongeBob. Like, come on. And then he puts like a piece of lead in his hat, and just like, that award is a bunch of, and that's the ground beef patty keeps going in his face. It's just so fucking funny. Now, everybody remembers I Had an Accident. This is the one with the scary ass gorilla at the end that just terrorizes everybody. And yeah, what can I say? It's just a classic. SpongeBob gets hurt, wants to stay inside, doesn't want to get hurt. He eventually goes outside to help his friends, and he gets instantly cooked. Like, literally instantly. It doesn't even take long at all. There's not a whole lot to comment on. Like, thanks, Chip. Take it away, Penny. And it's just, there's just a lot of good gags here, you know. It's very memorable. The whole idea of Patrick not being Patrick, and Patrick was dressed as a gorilla, and then the gorilla was Patrick, and the Patrick was the gorilla. It gets confusing. Them trying to convince SpongeBob to come back outside and giving an old man a bath. And then Sandy's like, Sandy was just sick of Patrick being dumb as fuck in this episode. Like, she was ready to kill this dude. Sandy always wants to beat the fuck out of Patrick. I don't blame her. But just overall, it's just undeniably a classic. Everybody knows I Had an Accident. And then the end with the parents turning off the TV because it's just so goofy. Oh yeah, and before we move on, we gotta talk about freaky ass Bikini Bottom with the spanking line. What the hell is going on? Y'all all lined up to spank each other, and Squidward's freaky ass, is this where the line starts? Squidward, what? What in tarnation is going on in Bikini Bottom, man? Don't really got a whole lot to say about SpongeBob Meets the Strangler. It's just pretty fun. The idea that SpongeBob thinks the dude trying to kill him is his bodyguard. It's just a funny gag. They get a lot of use out of it. And then him crashing out and trying to escape SpongeBob. And by the end, SpongeBob's the one chasing him down. It's just such a good twist that you really wouldn't see coming. It's super funny. The only problem I have with this episode is SpongeBob went to everybody for help except Sandy. If he would have went to Sandy, she would have beat the fuck out of the Strangler. It wouldn't even have been close. I said the same thing with the bully earlier, but this is a much better version of the bully episode from earlier. And I just think a lot of the gags of this joke, like this guy trying to hurt SpongeBob, it's done in a much more funny, comedic way. Also because he never gets the chance to hurt him. My biggest problem with the bully is the whole reason that SpongeBob didn't get hurt is because Flat's punches didn't hurt him. But Flat still did punch the shit out of SpongeBob. In this episode, the Strangler never even gets his chance to put like his hands on SpongeBob, really. So that's why I think it's a better punchline, because SpongeBob got to him before the stranger could get to him. And I just think it's such a goofy gag. I love how everybody comes to SpongeBob's houses for his party. Most of the time they hate SpongeBob. Well, I don't want to say hate, but a lot of the time Bikini Bottom's sick of SpongeBob. But for this specific individual time, they come to his house not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row to kick it at SpongeBob's house. It's so funny. And then at the end you got Patrick, what are you in for, Mac? It's just such a funny episode when he gets the cleats in the eyeballs. It's just so goofy. It's such a good one. Hooky just has such a fantastic message and metaphor behind it, and I love how it's called Hooky while they're playing hooky. I just always thought that was a cool little pun there. But no, the whole idea of Mr. Krabs trying to warn them and save them and save them and save them, and they don't listen, and Patrick gets cooked, but SpongeBob almost gets cooked. Thankfully, Squidward came in clutch and got the fish hook in his pants and taught him a lesson, but you know, Mr. Krabs almost lost his best fry cook, you know? Because this is still season 1, so Mr. Krabs wasn't really like a super greedy dickhead yet. Not to say that I hate that, because I actually think it's way more funnier that he's like that, but season 1 Mr. Krabs was more of like kind of a little bit of like a parental figure and a little bit to SpongeBob, like kind of his little mentor. So him really like being upset and busting into tears when he thought SpongeBob died, like low-key hits really hard. It really characterizes Mr. Krabs quite a bit as just not just being his boss. Like he really does give a fuck about SpongeBob, and I really like that. And then, of course, you got probably the scariest part of the entire show. It's when I seen a kid here earlier, and you just see his sneakers left behind. Like, bro, that's some fucking horror movie level shit. And then at the end of the episode, SpongeBob has to swallow his pride because, like I keep bringing up, in season 1, this dude had a huge ego. So having to give up his pride and strip naked in front of everybody at the Krusty Krab, it was definitely taught him some good humiliation. Definitely went home. Definitely learned a lesson. Like, hey, just because it's fun, it's dangerous. Stay away from it. He shouldn't have been doing it. He did it. He almost got cooked. Patrick did get cooked. He got turned into tuna with the smell of mayonnaise. And yeah, it's a really good one. And it's one of those where it really does use the aspect of them being underwater creatures to its fullest potential. Because not a lot of other cartoons can even do this kind of episode, because why the fuck would there be random hooks coming from the fucking sky? But I mean, they're underwater, so it makes perfect sense. And very similar to Hooky, Squidville also has a very good metaphor and message. You know, there's quite a few videos on YouTube just talking about this episode alone, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but really the idea of needing something to spice up your life because doing the same thing over and over again will make you miserable and depressed is absolutely true, because it's something that I myself struggle with quite a bit personally, and maybe that's why I like this episode so much, because I really do relate to Squidward big time in this episode. And it's a very important episode, and I think it's one of those SpongeBob episodes where it's not just a silly cartoon, it's something you really get a new look of life when you leave this episode. And of course it ends with one of the funniest jokes of the entire show, where it's like, are you Squidward? Are you Squidward? Are you Squidward? And then the guy that's actual Squidward having a blast in the sky. Someone's like, they do know one thing, it sure isn't that guy. It's just hilarious. It's got some good gags with SpongeBob and Patrick, and it also has some realism with Squidward there, and I think it tackles the mental problems pretty well without kind of hammering it in like some sort of goofy ass fucking political message. Overall, I think it's a really good concept. It's a really good episode, and it was executed phenomenally. It was really good. The last Sheldon episode chronologically is Plankton's Army, and this one goes out with a bang, I would say, because just like The Algae's Always Greener, this one kind of has Plankton being the protagonist, and I think that works to its favor, because even though he's being the villain, he's still the protagonist, kind of like Thanos with Infinity War. Like, sometimes it's just cool to follow the villain, right? So, it was really cool to see him, like, low-key really succeed. Obviously it was a fake formula, but like, he did get the formula. Like, he did discover the formula. Now, Mr. Krabs did have it as a fake formula, like I just said, so we didn't really win, but like, he spent his entire life trying to crack that safe and get it, and he did get the bottle that he's been salivating for his entire life. Him bringing all of his family, him realizing like, hey, I'm small and puny alone, but together the Plankton Army can be like one big ass unit, and they did. They took over instantly. Grass, like, dude, just the delivery on that line alone, the grass line, it's so funny. And root beer, and just the whole idea of his family being like bum ass hillbillies when he was expecting them to be like super villain geniuses is just so silly. The twist that Plankton is in Krabby Patties and he like tweaks out and runs away. It's just all around a really good episode. The Sheldon gag with Karen putting it on the back at the very end, like the note on his back, Sheldon. Rest in peace to all the Sheldons out there, man. You just got a funny ass name, man. Up next, we got Krusty Love, a Mr. Krabs based episode, and we got quite a few more Mr. Krabs episodes to go. A lot of them made it to the top of this list, so I hope you're ready for them. Krusty Love has probably my favorite scene in all of SpongeBob. When he's trying to rizz up Mrs. Puff and he keeps making those crackhead noises, those like, he actually goes full retarded mode, and it is so fucking funny. And then at the end of it, she goes, well, Mr. Krabs, you have a way with words. Like, no, he doesn't. You're lying, Mrs. Puff. And I think it's cute that this like relationship actually like expanded and like they actually ended up being somewhat together throughout the show. I haven't watched a lot of new SpongeBob, but I know that they like still make references to Mr. Krabs and Puff being together, and that's pretty cool. I like what happened to Mr. Puff. Dude got turned into a lamp. That dude got fucked up. I like the whole cafe vibe where it's just such a nice scenery. We see that cafe a couple times. I know we see it again in Chocolate with Nuts when SpongeBob and Patrick take the old ladies out. But I know we see the cafe quite a bit throughout this show, and it's such a nice little vibe over there. I really, really, really like the part where like SpongeBob like just absolutely crashes out at the end. Like just he is so sick of Mr. Krabs' chicanery. SpongeBob, you hear that? She didn't need to buy a hat. Like he sounds so broken, and then Mr. Krabs hits him with the "It's not my fault you're loose with other people's wallet," and then SpongeBob just fucking loses it, deservedly so, man. But this episode's so good, it's so funny. The run back and forth, I could see it being a little repetitive, and it could get a little boring for some people, but I just really like the scene, so I think they hit pretty hard. But the fact that Mr. Krabs spent $100,000 in one night is absolutely diabolical. We got Nasty Patty, and they're not lying either. That was one nasty ass fucking patty. That shit was disgusting. Obviously, this is the one with the health inspector. The fly goes into the health inspector's mouth. He chokes. They think they killed the health inspector, and SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs have to hide a buried body. Absolutely chicanerous behavior. And then just the whole vibe of this episode is just absolutely ludicrous. The fact that they even put this in the storyboard and it got greenlit is absolutely insane, man. And it's just, everybody knows the health inspector episode. There's really not a whole lot I really need to say. This one is just it's just the health inspector. I mean, it's just crazy. It's nuts. They're over here trying to hide the body from the police. They start like confessing on each other. They're trying to throw each other under the bus. SpongeBob, the dark deed has been done, sir. It's just so goofy. And then they ended up fucking hitting the health inspector again, thinking that he's a zombie. So then the fucking police start ganging up on this poor health inspector. Dude literally didn't do nothing wrong at all. Just wrong place, wrong time. Like, oh, poor guy. Now we got Imitation Crabs, and this one, I watched this one quite a fucking bit when I was little, so this one definitely has that little bit of nostalgic edge for it, but what can I say? It's such a fantastic one. It's such an iconic one, too. Plankton dresses up as a robot Mr. Krabs, and then SpongeBob can't tell the real one from the fake one, and it's just, you always have these clone-type episodes in cartoons, and like even movies in general, and you gotta figure out which one's the real one, make sure you shoot the right one, and SpongeBob actually tweaked out on the wrong one, and shot the wrong one, but it was okay because he went back and saved Mr. Krabs at the end. Just overall, it's just such a unique episode, such a cool episode. Seeing Plankton try to not dress up, but like control a Mr. Krabs piloted robot and do all these goofy ass, dumbass challenges for the formula, only to never get it. Meatball. Like it's just such a fun episode. It really is. Starting off the top 30, we got Chocolate with Nuts, an absolute classic. This one's so funny and it's so good. I really can't even name all the jokes because there is too many. What did he say? Chocolate. And then the chocolate. And then like they just go crazy. They keep getting scammed by that scammer over and over and over again as they're trying to scam other people. So they low-key deserve it. The scene where Patrick runs out of the door and he like stops midair and he looks dumb as fuck for that one frame. It's so goofy and funny. I love it. The part, why is Tubby staring at me? Closes his eyes in the door. You got a nice place. There's just so many good gags and jokes here. Fancy living, here we come. Now let's save that for real estate. Like there's so many quotes in this episode. It's so good and it's so funny. It's just joke after joke after joke after joke after joke. This episode just don't miss. Now, this episode right here, I feel like has always been mega underrated. I never hear anybody think or talk about this episode, but this episode is so fantastic, man. This is Pressure. This is the one where Sandy and SpongeBob are competing against who's better, sea creatures or land animals, and then everybody starts ganging up on her in the Krusty Krab, and then they eventually go up top into the land on the beach, and then they get cooked by those seagulls, and then Sandy comes in and whoops their asses, and then they both just agree, hey, we got our differences, but we're cool. It teaches a good message. It has good jokes. The rivalry between Sandy and SpongeBob in like the first 4 minutes, like they're like racing and they're climbing up the mountain. They keep insulting each other. They call themselves a couple slurs like fucking wethead. Wethead is insane. I would crash out if someone called me a fucking wethead. That's insane. And then them like laughing at her as her lungs are collapsing, like, y'all are some assholes, man. What the fuck? And then, obviously they all come together and they agree that, let's settle our differences. We're all friends here. It's not that deep. We're all good at something. It's a really good message to end the episode on. It's just super good. I love the visual style and like they all turn into like little stick puppets at the end and they just give Squidward this big ass ugly nose. It's really goofy. Pressure is just such a classic, man. And if you thought Sandy was getting it bad last episode, well, this next episode, squirrel jokes, bro, they're just being racist. And it's absolutely fucking hilarious. No doubt about it. SpongeBob just selling out his friend just to tell some racist jokes to make everybody laugh, because the jokes are funny as fuck. Hey, but fleas need a home too. Like, he's actually just dogging on Sandy. Ain't no way. The only one that was laughing at his jokes was Sandy. And then he starts telling racist jokes. Everybody's laughing, pisses off Sandy. Sandy eventually spins the tides on SpongeBob, invites him over, acts dumb as fuck to prove a point. And, it's just all around. It teaches another good message. Pretty much teaches the same message as the last one, but this one felt a lot more mean-spirited and angry and, like, hateful. Just because the people in Bikini Bottom were just all ganging up on her, whereas in the last episode it was just the main four, Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and SpongeBob. So this one definitely did feel a lot more mean-spirited, but then at the end SpongeBob realized, hey, we gotta make fun of everybody, including himself. He made fun of himself too, made fun of Patrick, made fun of Mr. Krabs. It just all around, it had a very good ending, and this has not one of my favorite lines in all of SpongeBob history. Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Coming up at 27th, we got Arg, and by golly, it is the first one alphabetically in this list, so there's a little fun fact for you. Arg is just a straight-up classic, man. We know that Mr. Krabs has been a captain and a sailor, but this episode kind of taps into his pirate vibes, and it just makes so much sense that he's a greedy captain. He's going to be plundering for sunken treasure. It just makes so much sense for Mr. K at the KK with 62 cents. And, this episode, he gets addicted to the board game. He keeps bugging SpongeBob. SpongeBob's just trying to nap, just mind his own business. Mr. Krabs, I want to go to bed! And then he pulls up with this random big-ass pirate ship next morning, and then Patrick and SpongeBob are just the two dumbest crewmates you could ever ask for. Instead of putting one eye patch and one peg leg, SpongeBob has both wooden legs, and then Patrick has both eye patches, so he can't fucking see. Just a dumbass. Then finding out that the Flying Dutchman wasn't just a one-off for the Halloween episode, and he was actually he's just a real character now. He's just part of the cast. He was in the book in Squidward's closet, but I mean, this is the second episode that he's appeared in after the Halloween episode. And so that's really cool to get the Flying Dutchman in there. The plastic to go to boons. Mr. Krabs getting his comeuppance by getting plastic fake treasure because he wanted to throw SpongeBob and Patrick under the bus, thinking that the Flying Dutchman was going to kill him. He's just a really greedy, selfish ass motherfucker. And it's just a really good episode. Really like the vibes. You got the compass. That's west, Patrick. Oh, I thought it said west. Dying for Pie has got to be one of the most emotional episodes in the entire show. Squidward, who spends his entire life hating on SpongeBob, thinks that he ruined his life and is going to kill him, and now he has to pretend to be his best friend and make his last day on Earth an immaculate, fun-filled adventure. That's got a sting for poor old Squidward. And Squidward finally realizes that he low-key doesn't hate SpongeBob, and he really does want to make SpongeBob feel better, but it's too late. Now SpongeBob's going to die, except he, obviously doesn't. He never actually ate the pie. The whole idea of Squidward also getting this pie, it's a bomb. They're bombs. and then Squidward's like, oh, I thought you said they were bombs. No, wait, it's just a regular pie. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then he buys it. Like, Squidward, you dumbass. And just there's not too many jokes, but it's just overall, this really isn't an episode you watch to laugh for jokes. It's a very heartfelt episode between two characters, who usually don't get along too well, and they're getting along great. And just the whole build up to the episode, the ending of SpongeBob, if I was to die right now to the carelessness of a friend, well, that'd be all right. Or that'd just be okay. And he's just almost accepted the fact that he's going to die without even knowing he's going to die. And then at the very end, he accidentally throws the pie right in Squidward's face, blows up Squidward. It's absolutely hilarious. SpongeBob, explode! And he just starts yapping and yelling at Gary. Gary's not even there. Like, what the fuck, SpongeBob? But, yeah, it's just, the visuals of this episode are really nice, especially the sunset at the end. Mr. Krabs, I've seen this 11 times, matter of fact. Squidward calls the people 11 times. It's hilarious. But yeah, no, this is just a very, very good episode. A lot of people have it a little bit even higher than I have it. It's definitely a staple classic episode for a reason. Scaredy Pants has just always hit differently for me. SpongeBob is such a happy-go-lucky, jolly show, good-hearted show. So for the first holiday special, well, not special, but the first holiday episode to be based around Halloween and poking fun of like SpongeBob is always the scared little bitch, and everybody in Bikini Bottom gets one on SpongeBob. It just makes so much sense for SpongeBob's character, and just the aura and the vibes and the eeriness and just the overall aesthetics of this episode. The music, the soundtrack, oh my god, the music for this episode is so good. We get introduced to the Flying Dutchman at the end of it. It's so perfect, just the vibes. SpongeBob trying so hard to be scary and he's just not. The Dutchman shoes, it's so funny. The big old jack-o'-lantern where SpongeBob's like, this is gonna scare someone. He turns around, gets scared of his own fucking jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, opens the door. It's the haunted mattress. Oh, it's the haunted sleeping bag now. It's just so goofy. The twist ending that SpongeBob like got all of his body shaved off, so now he's like this disgusting brain thing. It's just such a good delivery that even the Flying Dutchman gets scared. All the different costumes. Mr. Krabs starts choking Apple Bob and he's about to die, and Pearl's just, you're embarrassing me. It's just such a cool, it's just visually, it's just such a cool episode. It just has that fucking aura, and just, you know, like I said, as the first holiday episode, they hit it out of the fucking park, dude. They nailed it. It's so good. Every single part of this episode is just so iconic to me. I have so much nostalgia for this one. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. It's not my favorite. That obviously goes to Christmas, not even a question. But Halloween's probably my second favorite. It's a really good one. I like Halloween a lot. And this episode, it just knocks it out of the park with the aesthetics. Nevermore, what's in store? The paper coming in at 24. Now, a lot of people don't remember this episode, and a lot of people don't really discuss this episode, which is a damn shame, because this one is absolutely goated. It's always been one of my favorites, especially from season 1, man. This episode is so fucking good, and the reason that a lot of people don't remember it, talk about it, and really don't have no recollection of it, is because this was paired with Valentine's Day, so they only aired Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day. So if you didn't catch this episode on Valentine's Day, then you weren't going to catch this episode, unfortunately, because the paper is just, man, it's so funny and unique. All the different things that little SpongeBob does with this worthless little stupid piece of paper, box of army supplies, origami, the whole note section, and oh my god, the musical meme is one of my favorite meme templates for all of SpongeBob memes. Like the amount of songs that, oh, all those wrong notes you played made it sound more original. And then it's like, see, you're playing it like this, when ordinarily it goes like this, and then SpongeBob just blows it out of the fucking water. It's so cool. The visual style of like the note sheets in the background look really nice. And then just overall, just the whole idea of this episode of Squidward, someone as like mature and sensical as Squidward trades every single little thing he owns for a fucking piece of gum paper. Like, it's just such a good like ending gag joke of like, a worthless piece of paper, just what I needed, thanks Squidward. And just the whole time you see Squidward doing all this fun shit, and then Squidward just immediately gets the paper and can't do none of it. Dude has no imagination. And yeah, the paper, it's just a fucking classic, man. I wish more people remembered it and seen it, because it's really one of my favorites. One Krabs trash can only be explained with one word: ridiculous. Everything that happens in this episode is just absolutely obnoxious. And before we get into that, I do want to say I quite like the title card here. Like, you got the treasure chest in the background, the nice blue underwater, the nice font color. It looks really nice. You got the doubloons on the floor. But anyway, the whole idea of this entire episode is just ridiculous. He's throwing out trash. He finds out that this trash is worth like $1 million after giving it to SpongeBob for like $7. And then he's doing all this bullshit to get it back. He makes up some fake name. That that dude's fake name exists. SpongeBob gives it back to the grave of this fake name, this fake person that Mr. Krabs made up. That person's really real. He was really number one. What was it? Samity Werben Jaggerman Jensen. What a name. What a name. He was number one. Mr. Krabs goes to the graveyard of somehow which SpongeBob found, and then all of the dead fish come to life for this fucking fuck-ass hat, only for Mr. Krabs to go back, give it back, and it's worth not shit, but then you find out that another hat SpongeBob has now is now worth $1 million. Like, get the fuck out of here. This episode is so fucking goofy, and I absolutely love it. You got the Squidward crying his hopes and dreams. They passed away. What a baby. You got SpongeBob waking up dead sleep, scared. Ah! A floating scary fucking shopping list. It's like this entire episode is just ridiculous. Let's give it a round of applause for the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes. They're not all great, but the ones that are good are very good. And my best one, in my opinion, is Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5. This is the one where they get turned into superheroes. You got the Quickster, you got Captain Magma, you got Miss Appear, and you got Elastic Waistband. And just the four of them absolutely shit the fucking bed. They're absolutely horrible at their job. SpongeBob, Sandy, Squidward, and Patrick. They just absolutely fumble the bag at the end. It's very funny, of course, how just shit they are at being superheroes. All this build up the entire episode, and then they just immediately get fucking folded. Barnacle Boy becoming to the dark side with Man Ray and the Dirty Bubble. We get to see the two cool villains once again for the final one. And just overall, it's just fucking hilarious. It's cool. The aesthetics are cool. I mean, they're faster, and you could say salsa verde. I say that a lot. It's quite funny. And just Sandy getting hit by the car when she's invisible is so fucking funny. And just the whole idea that they do all of this just because Barnacle Boy wanted a fucking big Krabby Patty and everybody made fun of him. So then he actually just tweaked out and became evil. And by evil, they were just like playing Ding Dong Ditch. So you got that. Overall, it's just really funny. It's just really funny seeing the main cast get these cool ass superhero abilities, and then they do absolutely nothing with them, and they're absolutely horrible. It's fucking hilarious. We got Born Again Krabs. Now, I've seen some people slander this episode, and I'm like, no way, this one's goated. This is the one where Mr. Krabs sells SpongeBob's soul for 62 cents, because he's such a cheap-ass motherfucker. There's that nasty, disgusting-ass Krabby Patty under the grill. He makes SpongeBob sell it. Nobody wants to eat that nasty shit. Mr. Krabs takes one bite, fucking dies. He's about to go to Davy Jones' locker, and then he's like, no, please, give me another chance, Flying Dutchman. I'll be a good person. He gets his chance back, immediately fumbles it, immediately sells the bag, immediately goes back to being a greedy ass motherfucker and instantly gets cooked. It took less than a day. It took less than a day. Like, no way. He fucking rewinds the video, makes that dude's brain forget the movie that he just watched, takes the toys back, about to cut a dude's arm off for a penny. A penny! This man's insane! And just overall, it's just so funny how fucking greedy Mr. Krabs is. Depends how much money we're talking. 62 cents. I'll take the money! And then even Squidward had to stand up to Mr. Krabs like, bro, are you serious right now? Like, are we dead ass, Mr. Krabs? Come on, man. And then, of course, SpongeBob bets his soul. And then SpongeBob's the one that ends up getting taken to Davy Jones' locker. And then fucking the Flying Dutchman brings him back anyway because SpongeBob's so fucking annoying. Which is a very good ending because it's a very realistic ending. Like, they didn't give Mr. Krabs any plot armor. No, SpongeBob just kind of speaks for himself. And Flying Dutchman is like, man, chilling with SpongeBob is more of a punishment. Just fucking keep him. I'm out of here. It's just a really good twist ending. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the Elite 20. These next 20 episodes are the best SpongeBob episodes of all time, and they're in a league of their own, and these are the tip of the top S tier goats. And starting off, we got Pickles at 20. We all know Pickles. Everybody knows Pickles. We got Bubble Bass. You forgot the Pickles! And how could you forget his order? I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft, 4x4 animal style, extra shingles, with a shimmy and a squeeze, light axle grease, make it quai, burn it, let it swim. We serve food here, sir. Just Squidward's jokes in general, like him checking himself out in the mirror, Squidward getting tossed by Bubble Bass. Let me guess, Tiny, a small salad. It's just Squidward is a really good character here. He's in and out, he gets his jokes, and then he kind of gets fucked off to the side. SpongeBob forgets how to make Krabby Patties. We all know this episode. Don't you get it, you crustaceous cheapskate? I can't put a patty on a bun with lettuce, cheese, pickles, tomatoes, whatever the fuck he says in that order. And then it's time. It's like a Karate Kid training montage, and it's just so funny. And then it's so cool that you finally find out that SpongeBob is over here bugging the whole time, and he never even got the order wrong. Bubble Bass is just a little bastard. And, Bass the bastard. I guess that makes sense. And then he found out he took his car keys, took someone's wallet, and like, come on, Bubble Bass, get your fat ass the fuck out of here. Get out of here. And then Bubble Bass was never seen again until a couple episodes later where he eats plankton in the episode Fun as a little jelly bean. So yeah, Bubble Bass, great character, nice little one and done for the most part. Everybody got their jokes, the refill. Mr. Krabs has the really, really, really tiny money back guarantee. Money back guaranteed. It was like $2. He's like, free refills. How about restroom tokens? Like, Mr. Krabs, come on. And speaking of Bubble Bass being in Fun, coming in right after, we got Fun. Now, Fun is a iconic episode. I mean, what can I say about Fun? It's got an iconic song, F is for friends that do stuff together. U is for you and me. And is for anywhere and anytime and all down here in the deep blue sea. I mean, Fun is just such a goated song. It's such a catchy song and such an iconic song. Plankton's version is absolutely hilarious. Use for uranium! Bombs. It's so funny. It's such a goofy episode. It's such a good episode too. And it definitely shows the dynamic between SpongeBob and Plankton. You almost start to feel bad. Well, it's not almost. You do start to feel bad for Plankton because he doesn't have any friends. Nobody likes him. He's a loser. He's a bitch ass. And you start to think that maybe him and SpongeBob are really going to get along. And then you find out the whole time Plankton was just a fucking just asshole, just lying the whole time. And he definitely does deserve to get ate by a little fucking jelly bean by fat fuck over there, Tiny, who did not order a small salad. Just overall, the aesthetics, the visual styles, like when SpongeBob does songs like in the show, the visual style is so fucking cool all of the time, and Fun is definitely one of the cooler parts. It definitely is shot like a goofy, like fucking late 1990s music video, because I mean that's when this episode came out, right? Late 90s. Like 99, I think. So yeah, it was just a really cool episode. It has a cool visual style. It's really fun. I mean, the episode's called Fun. It's just a really fun episode to watch. And yeah, it's just classic Plankton trying to get the formula, but he's never successful, never has been, never will, except for the movie. But yeah, no, it's fun. F you in. And speaking of good songs, we got Ripped Pants coming in at 18. And Ripped Pants might be my favorite song in the entire SpongeBob catalog. This song is so fucking good at the end. And the entire episode being a build-up to the song for SpongeBob to redeem himself is so good. Starts off with a funny... we've all had this situation scenario happen. We see it a lot with internet memes where it starts off funny, and then someone just takes it too far. They start overdoing it. It loses its touch. Someone does something really fucking stupid and dumb to try to go viral, to try to be funny, to try to make everyone laugh, and everyone hates it. The joke's ruined, and then nobody likes the joke anymore. And it's just, you see that happen a lot, and Ripped Pants is such a good way of showing that off, because the Ripped Pants joke is actually pretty funny. Like, it is funny, SpongeBob just randomly ripping his pants. Oops, guess I ripped my pants again. It's just such a goofy punchline, and it's really funny. And then it's just the way he tries to escalate it, like he just starts pushing his ass in people's face when they're trying to eat. Like, SpongeBob, get your ass out of my face, man. And then he tries to kill himself, pretending to drown. No, it's like, dude, are we so dead ass right now? I need I need a tailor. 'Cause I ripped my pants again. Or 'cause I just ripped my pants. Whatever he fucking says. And everyone's just so sad. The lifeguard just looks dead in the camera. He's ready to put his fucking 2-week notice in. He might not even. He might just quit on the spot. Fuck a 2-week notice. And, like I mentioned, the song at the end is just such a good song. And visual style, like the way they make the whole stadium made out of sand, like that whole kind of visual style, it looks really cool. I know I shouldn't mope around, I shouldn't curse, but the pain feels so much worse. I know every single line of that song, word for word. It's such a good song. It's so fire. And obviously Sandy forgives her best friend SpongeBob and is like, yo, man, I get it. I get the joke. Did you really mean everything you said? And then SpongeBob accidentally rips his pants again, or at least I think he accidentally does it. Maybe he did do it on purpose. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it because he did do it when the spotlight was on him. And as a matter of fact, the entire band did it. And SpongeBob didn't even have pants no more. That dude had fucking underwear on. So, like, he just showed his asshole to everybody. Like, SpongeBob, put your holes away, sir. At 17, we got the Idiot Box. Honestly, just such a classic, iconic episode. I haven't been showing the episodes on screen, obviously. I've just been showing the title cards. So I hope you all have been using your imagination to its fullest and most use to try to remember the parts that I'm talking about in this vocal clip. And obviously that was a joke because this is the episode that has the imagination parts. And just the whole idea of Squidward thinking that SpongeBob and Patrick really have it out for him when they're really just minding their own business, having fun on Robot Pilot Island, having the fucking coppers pull them over, having the avalanche come down, having the fucking military drone come down, like the airplane, helicopter, whatever it was. Plankton, or not Plankton, I don't know why the fuck I said Plankton. He's not even in this episode. Squidward jumps down trying to take cover in his head, thinking gunfire's coming down on him. Like, how many wars has Bikini Bottom been through where Squidward's just ready for war? Like, what the fuck? Is this dude a soldier? Like, what the hell? And then, just the fact that you really don't even see any of the cool shit. Like, you don't see Robot Pirate Island. You don't see the avalanche. You don't see the cop chase. Like, it's just, you literally just have to use your imagination. You just have the sound effects, and Squidward, you really do feel like Squidward in this episode. Like, you just need to know how the fuck are they doing that? And then it's never explained. It's SpongeBob logic. It was never explained. Squidward finally thinks he gets the box to work, and they're just throwing his ass in the dump, gets pie in his face because he's a loser. Fuck that motherfucker. Love how he's trying to get boxes on the TV, or he's not trying to see boxes on the TV. He's like, is there anything not about boxing? Boxing comes on. Okay, well, this isn't actually about boxes. And then it's boxes boxing. It's just such a funny fucking punchline. And then the whole idea of them buying this big ass TV just to use the box is so stupid. It's so funny. Idiot Box. It's a classic for a reason. Imagination. It's goated, man. Next up, we got the Fry Cook games. There's no intro to get into. There's no bullshit. It's just we're straight into the Fry Cook games. Just like that. Boom, we're in there. And we got a rivalry between Patrick and SpongeBob, puppeteered by Plankton and Mr. Krabs, obviously, the two competing Olympic athletes. And just the whole rivalry between the two. It's just nonstop funny jokes, nonstop rivalry. Patrick acting like being a fry cook is super easy because it is. And SpongeBob thinking it's like this really royally cool job that only an elite squad can do, when being a fry cook burger guy is like the poster boy for cheap job anyone can do. It is funny. Not to say it's easy, it's just to say that, like, you know, anybody can be a fry cook if they really want to. And SpongeBob just thinking it's like some hidden skill is just, it's really funny. And the whole goofy jokes of like Patrick jumping in the chocolate and it just magically makes him look like strawberry ice cream. It's so funny. The boxing match at the end where they fight each other, they're like big and buff. My name's not Rick. These were white when I bought them. Like, yuck, man. That is nasty business. But overall, there's not a whole lot to say in this episode. It's just back and forth rivalry. You love to see a good blood sport match between two rivals. It's just a good show. The gags are really funny too, like that. I love messing things up. And then you got the dude, the big scary dude. Ah! It's such a good watch. Coming in at 15, we got the band episode. We're getting juicy on this one. Midlife Crustacean. Just such a diabolical episode. A diabolical idea. Diabolical storyboard. Diabolical animation. And diabolical execution. Them robbing Mr. Krabs' mom's panties is absolutely absurd. And the fact that they brought Mr. Krabs with is even more absurd. And the fact that they got this man horny and excited for these underwear, knowing damn well it's his mom, is even more absurd. Absolutely outlandish behavior from SpongeBob and Patrick. Why didn't you tell me this was my mom's house? Why didn't you ask? Like, are you dead ass right now? Are you so fucking serious? Why didn't you ask? And then, like, them trying to act like they're so cool. They're going to fucking laundry club, like a laundry detergent place. They're picking up trash on the side of the road. They got Mr. Krabs riding in a fucking wagon. And then the end, are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? You want to know how I feel? I'm feeling like a total barnacle head. And he just crashes out, destroys the bunny, throws the kids around. It's just such a good episode. Patrick, that's not a ride. Oh, yeah. And it's just so funny. Mr. Krabs thinking he's about to go get some action, about to go get some fucking fish ass in the club. And then it's just laundry. It's just such a fucking stupid episode, and it's so funny. And the payoff at the end being they just go from stupid shit, like watching laundry spin, to touching random girls' panties in their dresser. Like, what the fuck, man? Coming in at 14, we got Wet Painters. And while I don't have this as the best episode, I will go ahead and say I think this is probably the all-around funniest episode. There are so many gags, funny faces, funny moments in this episode that this episode is just straight up fucking hilarious. My favorite joke of the episode being, "We have technology," starts beating the dollar with the fucking computer. Oh my god, that one is so hilarious. One of the funniest jokes in the entire show. I've said that a lot, but I actually might mean it for that one. That one's fucking good. And just the overall idea of like, hey, paint my shit for free or else I'll fucking kill you and cut off your ass and put it on my wall. Especially of what's up with ass in this show, man. Ripping pants, showing ass, ass and face. Fucking whole episode about SpongeBob protecting his ass. There was a 7 miles ass spanking line. Like, what is up with the cheeks in this show, man? Patrick, can I use mine one last time? Patrick putting in the dollar back in, back out, back in, back out. Absolutely deplorable work. SpongeBob trying to cover up the dollar. They do everything perfectly except one little smidgen of paint on Mr. Krabs' first dollar. Patrick tries to draw a little smiley face on it. Well, you know, I thought he wouldn't notice. And then, just hanging around. Boo. It's just such an iconically good episode, man. Wet Painters is a fucking classic. It takes place in Mr. Krabs' house, an area we don't get to see too much, but it is really unique in terms of setting. And just that whole under area of wherever the fuck they're painting. I don't think it's a basement. I don't know where the fuck they are, but it's such a detailed room. It definitely gives a lot of insight into Mr. Krabs' character, and all the jokes just hit so hard. It's such a good episode. And just Wet Painters, it's iconic for a reason. One of the best season 3 has to offer, for real. Now, I'm going to tell you what, coming in here for Texas, we got 13. Now, Sandy being a little Texan squirrel and wanting to come back home because she's getting a little homesick, definitely understand that, man. When you start getting them butterflies in your tummy, you start getting a little homesick, you start feeling like the south end of a northbound mule. I tell you what. Oh, you got them little acorns. You want to go back to wrestling and corn chucking and going over back to lassoing and rodeoing. You know, I totally get it. I totally get being homesick, man. I totally get it. And then when SpongeBob and his little pink critter friends start making fun of your hometown, well, you just want to start fucking crashing out. You want to wrangle their neck like a freaking wet cloth in the middle of a freaking thunderstorm. I tell you what. But no, seriously, Texas is just a classic. It has a good song. I wanna go home, oh, oh, home. I wanna go home. What did you say about Texas? And then she's just chasing them down because they're calling Texas so stupid. And then she fucking damn near kills Patrick. She's about to kill SpongeBob, and then she finds out how loved she is in the Bikini Bottom, and she eventually decides to stay. And it's just a really good message of like, definitely between staying where you are now and liking where you are now, but also giving everything up and going back to your roots at square one. It's definitely understandable. Me personally, I don't really understand what the big deal was because she could always come back to Bikini Bottom, so I don't know why she didn't just go to Texas for a little bit and then come back. There's no problem having two homes. People do that all the time. But I guess, I definitely understand SpongeBob wanting to keep one of his best friends. Because if it wasn't for Patrick, Sandy would be that motherfucker's best friend. So I definitely get it. And it's just really funny, like, how up in arms she gets about Texas. It's funny how Patrick and SpongeBob do make fun of Texas, like their jokes are funny. What am I now? Stupid? No, I'm Texas. Well, what's the difference? And then you get the get a dog, little longy, instead of get along, little doggy, like the song. It's a really good joke. It's just so fucking funny. You got Sandy's run where she just lassos up Patrick and catches him. Ooh, and then he just explodes. Oh my god, it's so great. Up at 12, we got Crabborg. Now, it's very easy to confuse this episode title with Imitation Crabs, but this is a completely different episode. This is the one where SpongeBob thinks Mr. Krabs is a robot because he watched that scary movie. What if he couldn't have, and he shouldn't have, and he wouldn't have because he's a robot? That same musical sting, that dun dun, like every single time, a robot. He does it like 7-8 times. It's so funny every time. Just the whole idea of them thinking Mr. Krabs is a robot. They keep doing these dumbass tests. Squidward's dad never hugged him. I suppose that is quite sad, but Squidward can hug himself on his break. Like, it's just absolutely hilarious. I just wanted to say that Squidward loves you. Get back to work, Mr. Squidward. And it's just such a funny episode. And then SpongeBob, the robots are running the Navy, or Squidward. Squidward, the robots are running the Navy, not the Navy. It's so fucking funny. And then everyone's going crazy. Everyone panics. They start interrogating his blender and his calculator and his or not calculator, the cash register device, the Mrs. Puff hair curler, like a toaster, and whatever the fuck they're interrogating. Let's see what his little buddy knows. And then they keep slapping him. And then, what? You think I'm a robot? They have the How to Torture book on demand. They just have that there, just ready to watch or ready to read. And just the whole time, obviously, Mr. Krabs was not a robot. SpongeBob realizes this, dips out, and then leaves Squidward to deal with the aftermath. It's a very funny ending. It's just a very, very, very funny episode. It's just so, it's obtuse. It's a very obtuse episode, and the boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo. That song's so fire. And just, yeah, this episode, Crabborg, coming in at number 12. A lot of people don't really talk about this one, but I absolutely love it. It's just iconic. It's a good Mr. Krabs episode. It's a good Krusty Krab episode. And it's just an S tier, top of the line SpongeBob episode. Coming up next, we got SB129, which stands for SpongeBob Season 1, Episode 29. So if you never knew why it was called that, well, now you know. Before we talk about the episode, which is great, I've always liked this title card because when it cuts to the credits, after like it shows the title card and then it shows like the people who wrote the show and like directed the episode, it's on like the sand background. You know, of course, if you've seen SpongeBob, you know. But for this episode, it stays on like this weird space background and it has like very weird music playing. It's just very ominous and very liminal. It's very strange. It's very cool, and it adds to the atmosphere of this episode. Obviously, it's the one where where Squidward runs away, gets frozen in the locker for thousands of years, wakes up in the future, sees he's in the future. Everything's chrome. He goes back in time with the time machine. He's in the past. You got the primitive SpongeBob and Patrick, and then he fucking goes into the weirdo zone of alone, 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 alone. Alone, 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 I gotta get out of here. It's a very good message of like, don't take what you have for granted because you never know how fast it could be gone. You never know how fast you could want your old life back, so never take nothing for granted, man. You gotta respect the people around you and love the people that try to make you happy around you. You know, SpongeBob and Patrick, all they really want to do is make Squidward's day better. Now, do they do a good job of doing it? Absolutely not. They're absolutely horrible at doing it. But they're trying their fucking damnedest, okay? They're trying to be good people. They're trying to be good friends and good neighbors, and Squidward is just a fucking asshole all the time. And I also love how this episode writes in the fact that Squidward invented jellyfishing all the way back in the day because he went back in time and invented it. And it's just absolutely hilarious how he ended up making the thing that he hates the most. Who's the barnacle head that made that game anyway? You did! But it's a very liminal episode, very visually pleasing. It's very scary too, very eerie in like a surreal way, like a very soulful way, very philosophical way. It's an episode that you definitely gain a lot by watching. It's not just an episode of a cartoon. SB129 is much more than that. It's a very important episode in animation history, and it's a very, very, very iconic episode for good reason. Starting off the top 10, we got Frankendoodle, and just look at the title card. Do you even need me to tell you what episode this is? No, of course not. You know this is the one with Doodle Bob. Nyoi. We all know Doodle Bob. This episode had to be in the top 10. It's just so perfect. It's so unique. The idea of the magic pencil. Jeez, everyone's a critic. Finland! Happy birthday! Dunk! You're welcome. It's so funny. It's so cool in terms of plot, like evil SpongeBob versus good SpongeBob. SpongeBob going crazy, erasing his creation. Calm down. It's just a drawing. It's just such an iconically good episode, man. Like, everybody knows Frankendoodle. One of the most quotable episodes. One of the most, like, this is the episode that everybody's seen. And for good reason. It's one of the best. It's just so, I mean, there's not really anything I can really say to put into perspective of how important and iconic this episode is. The Squidward's hair, the fake dollar bill, the fake SpongeBob Doodlebob beating up Squidward. He's beating up Squidward, picking him up, punching him, throwing him around, slamming him around like Hulk did to Loki in that one movie. I don't remember what Avengers it was. I think it was the first one. But it's just such a classic episode, and what a better way than to start off the top 10 with Frankendoodle. Ironically enough, the last Plankton episode on this list is the first one. You gotta understand the context of the show when you see Plankton at number 9 here. The whole show before this part, this is like the 6th or 7th episode. So the first couple episodes of the show, they sink you into the show. It's calming, it's bright blue, very daytime vibes, very calming, very happy, very go-lucky, very good-spirited. And then you have this darker episode. It takes mostly place at night. You got Plankton's theme in the background. You got just this evil little conniving, thriving little motherfucker, little Plankton. Even though he's the smallest dude in the show, he's the most dangerous and the most evil and the most manipulative and just a little asshole. And the way he talks to SpongeBob, he's this little sweet-talking, sneaky little bastard, little weasel. And just the way he's like manipulating SpongeBob, it's a completely different tone to the show. Like, this dude introduces himself as the villain and he stays the main villain of the show for the rest of the franchise. And it's just such a good introductory episode to a character that wasn't even supposed to stick around in the show. He was supposed to be a one and done, but his performance was so good in this episode that he stuck around and ended up becoming the main antagonist of the fucking movie, right? So this episode has that aura, it has the jokes, it has the plot, it has the vibes, and just everything about it. I love coming back to it. I love watching it every single time, and I have to give it a 10 out of 10 and almost top of S tier because it's just such a good episode. We get like a look into the chum bucket. We get more backstory into Mr. Krabs having an arch nemesis trying to steal the formula that opens up so many future ideas for episodes. It's just such an iconic or original episode. Like the whole chum bucket, it has a completely different vibe compared to everything else we've seen so far. It's just a very dark, very just disturbing episode. We see Plankton kind of talk to SpongeBob how, I don't really want to bring this negative energy into the air, but it is very much like how a predator would talk to like a small, naive child. He's a very manipulative, sick man. And then we even see him take control of SpongeBob's body unconsensually after Plankton can't get what he wants from sweet talking. So this dude definitely cements himself as a force to be reckoned with, even though he's a small little speckle the size of a sesame seed. Dude is definitely a little evil, conniving little dude. And I love how at the end of the episode, he's not even really foiled by SpongeBob. He's foiled by his own undoing. Like, he gets too infatuated with this Krabby Patty. All he had to do was drop it in the thing. But no, he just started thinking about the Krabby Patty, started listening to SpongeBob, started going off in La La Land and tried to jump on the Krabby Patty. All he had to do was let go of SpongeBob's last finger and he would have had the Krabby Patty formula. But no, he wanted to get greedy, jump on it, and eat it. And, well, he fell into his own contraption and got his demise. The jokes here land like a booster seat hot dog. I mean, no. The disc of like the ha ha ha, like the evil laugh, and then the ABC, here's my lab. And it's just like a Labrador retriever. It's, there's a lot of good gags here, a lot of good funny jokes, but there's definitely an underlying seriousness and sickness within Plankton's character himself that he really wasn't ever this evil again. Like, even in like, Fun and Walking Small, like, he definitely still had his cynical side, but he definitely wasn't in super duper evil. In this episode, he's just straight up evil, man. And really, we never really see him be this evil again until the movie. Holy yap session, am I right? That was probably like the longest segment of the video so far. Holy cannoli. But anyway, coming in at number 8, we got Clams. And what's interesting about Clams is I actually never seen this episode when I was little. I didn't see it until I got my physical DVD copies of seasons 1, 2, and 3 and actually sat down and watched it on DVD as an adult. So I don't even have nostalgia to blame for this one. I just straight up think this episode's really good, man. Just the whole idea of Mr. Krabs tweaking out over this millionth dollar. He tells his employees, "Hey, we're going on vacation," and then it's some stinky ass clam fishing, and then he loses his dollar. He starts going crazy. The music segments, I forget the name of the something in D minor, whatever the fuck it was. The whole idea how when that music starts playing, that means the clam's coming. It's just such a funny gag. The way he starts tweaking out and geeking out. The way not a sandwich, the sandwich. The way that Mr. Krabs just starts fucking losing it. yeah. He starts tweaking out. It's just absolutely hilarious to watch everything in this episode unfold. The way he just rubs the fucking dollar bill between his ass cheeks and his taint, and he can just tell if it's his dollar or not. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Come on. I don't really have a whole lot to say for this episode. It's just an absolutely fantastic episode. It's a 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorites. And I just really like it. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to say. At number 7, we have my most watched episode, probably of all time, with Just One Bite. I watched this episode all the time. I had it on DVD and I had it on Dish DVR recording. So when I was at my grandma's house, I was watching it on the DVD, and when I was at my mom's house, I was watching it on the Dish recording. I watched this episode all the time. I watched this episode with my stepbrothers, with my cousins. We used to make fun of this episode all the time because it's so funny. Well, that part when Squidward runs to the Krusty Krab and he looks fucking cracked out. He straight up looks like a crackhead from Portland, Oregon. Bro, that part is so fucking funny. It is unreal how funny that shit is. Just the whole idea of Squidward trying to act like he hates these Krabby Patties when he's low-key like a crackhead fiend addict for him. It's just such a funny concept of him just lying straight to his teeth to SpongeBob, of him just not wanting these Krabby Patties. It's like, bro, yes you do. Stop lying. You got the iconic ending with the Patty Vault. You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward? Yes! I love Krabby Patties! I knew it. And then, of course, what the fuck am I? Squidward. God dang, Squidward. It all goes to his thighs, and then he blows up. It's just such a good episode. It's so funny, and it even has some lore to it too. It has a deleted scene of like a gasoline trap at the front door, and that was eventually edited out of the episode, which is just so cool that there's like hidden stuff like that. It almost sounds like a fucking creepypasta. Like, oh, a secret trap that had to be removed. Why? Because someone's kids died in real life because of it. And yeah, that's exactly why. Of course, that's not entirely true. The mother later was found out to be lying about that. But still, the fact that like kids actually died and there's some like real life tie-in to why the shit was removed is honestly kind of crazy. But I'm not going to detract that against the episode, obviously. That's a horrible tragedy, but Just One Bite is not a tragedy at all, and it's one of the best episodes of any show ever, and it's absolutely goated. Now, I'm not going to lie. The hardest choice of this entire video was choosing between number 6 and number 5. I could not tell which one of these two episodes I could put above each other, but ultimately, I decided to put Sleepy Time at number 6. I absolutely love and adore the themes and aesthetics and just the whole idea of Sleepy Time. Like the idea of like going into each character's psyche and like seeing like how their dreams would manifest and like reflect their character was such a cool and creative concept, especially for season 1 when the characters aren't like super developed yet. There's not a whole lot to work off of. But the way they went about it just worked fucking phenomenally. Like every single dream like showed off each character just fucking perfectly. Like Gary's dream where he's secretly like a super brilliant dude but just can't convey himself very well. So my Discord just went off. I forgot to fucking mute my phone before recording. I always forget to do that. I'm not gonna lie. But we're good now. No more Discord notifications for the rest of this video. But Patrick's dream where he's just chilling, just being a dumbass, drops his quarter, could have spawned another quarter, but just didn't give a fuck. So then he's just gonna sit on that little horsey ride for the rest of his dream. And the music for that part too, that Dumba Bumble or whatever the fuck that song's called. That song is great. You got Squidward's dream where he's playing for a king. He wants to be seen as the royal like clarinet player so bad, but then he just gets outshined by SpongeBob in his own dream. You got the one with Mr. Krabs where he's fishing the mighty Moby Dollar. You got SpongeBob's dream where he's trying to become he's trying to get his driver's license. Damn, I don't know why I was blanking so much there. And there's like burgers and like fries and drinks in his dream because he also really likes being a fry cook. So even though being a fry cook isn't the main part of his dream, it's like a big part of it. You know what I mean? And so, it's really cool how like that kind of manifested into his like dream landscape. And you got Pearl's dream where she's like doing like the tea and stuff. You got Sandy's dream where she's doing like extreme sports, going crazy. It's just such a really good episode at showing off the characters, how they think, the things they like, and how SpongeBob kind of is a foil to those. Like not necessarily that he tries to, but like how SpongeBob can be a foil to like Mr. Krabs or like Gary or like Squidward and like Plankton even. I forgot about Plankton's dream where he's going around trying to kill everybody. Little asshole. Zap. And yeah, it's just a really good episode, music-wise, like visually-wise. It's just so cool. And just the idea of SpongeBob getting launched out of his own dream and going into everyone else's dream, that's just such a cool concept. And it's executed absolutely phenomenally. Double S tier, SS plus tier. This episode it's really good. And just barely scraping by the hair of its chinny chin, one spot above Sleepy Time, we got No Weenies Allowed. And this episode is such a classic. It's so iconic. This episode has honestly transcended its episode because I know some people that have this sign in their room, and some people didn't even know it was from SpongeBob. They just thought the No Weenies Allowed sign was funny and cool. But no, I was like, dude, that's SpongeBob, bro. Just so many iconic, memorable lines. And then even the stuff that's not super memorable is still like cool. Like I completely forgot about the Sandy and SpongeBob karate fight at the beginning. But no, after rewatching it, it's like, nah, bro, that part's fucking cool too. Like there's not a single part of this episode that's like wasted time or wasted space. Everything is a build up to another part. It's so funny. The Weenie Hut Juniors, Super Weenie Hut Juniors, Weenie Hut General. Welcome to the Salty Splatoon. How tough are you? How tough am I? How tough am I? I had a bowl of nails for breakfast. Yes, so. Without any milk. Like, it's so fucking quotable. It's so iconic. It's so funny. And the fact that SpongeBob, the biggest pussy in Bikini Bottom, is trying to get into this tough-ass Salty Splatoon bar is so funny. And the fact we never get to see what's in there. He just immediately walks inside and gets cooked. He didn't get his ass beat. He slips on a fucking ice cube. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Just so many funny jokes. Like, you beat that pink guy up without even touching him. I love like the Sandy tattoo. She just rips his tattoo off. Love how he keeps trying to sneak into the club. He gets like a hairdo, and it's the fucking wig. It's like the clown wig on some shit that the fucking Marty would be wearing from Madagascar. It's just fucking goofy. It's one of the funniest episodes. It's one of the most iconic episodes, and it just overall is one of the best episodes. At number 4, we got Rock Bottom, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can understand why I have this episode up so high, just based on some of the other stuff I've been saying throughout this ranking. Like, I like the dark vibes, I like the gritty aesthetics, I like when SpongeBob, usually this nice, happy, jolly fellow, is thrown into an uncomfortable, kind of dangerous, creepy, kind of evilish environment. It's very dark, it's very unwelcoming, very uncomfortable, and it's just such a cool atmosphere. It's just 10 out of 10 in terms of vibes and just like the music track choices and just the visuals. It's just so cool to be like going from Bikini Bottom all the way down to Rock Bottom. He's all alone. The bus driver, every single bus gag in this episode just hits for me. You got the part, this isn't your everyday ordinary darkness. This is advanced darkness. Hey, that's my candy bar. It's just, this episode is just really, really good. The bus gags definitely humor out the very dark, uncomfortable setting. The different monster designs are pretty creepy for SpongeBob standards anyway. They look very cool and interesting. They're very different, very unworldly, much similar to, you know, the bottom of the ocean in real life. That is one scary ass fucking place, man. Jesus Christ. I love how at the end of the episode, he is actually the only reason he's sent back home is because he gets helped by one of the creatures down there, you know, showing that, you know, not everybody that you don't know or trust is a bad person. You know, there are some good people that you don't know. Sometimes you just gotta trust that somebody will help you out. And I like that message of SpongeBob only being able to escape with the help of the people down there, you know. But I also like the other side of that coin where all the strangers don't like outsiders and they're completely fucking with SpongeBob the entire episode. I think that's absolutely hilarious. Thank you. You're welcome. It's such a good punchline. The whole time they're talking like this. And then just out of nowhere, he just stops and just goes, "You're welcome." It's just such a funny ending gag to end the episode. And it ends in a very lighthearted way as SpongeBob goes back home. And of course, Patrick, being the good friend that he is sometimes. In season 1, at least, he was a very good friend. Going back down there to try to save SpongeBob. And Patrick's probably going to get cooked down there. And I don't think Patrick's making his way back up. But, yeah, Rock Bottom was my favorite SpongeBob episode for a while. I eventually put 3 others above it, obviously. But no, Rock Bottom is still a banger, and it's easily one of the best episodes in the show. And my personal favorite episode from season 1. This is the last season 1 episode. It's my favorite season of any show. And it had a great run, so let's give it a hand. Coming in at the bronze place spot, we got Krusty Krab training video. And this episode is just in a league of its own, man. Like, SpongeBob really doesn't follow a formula to begin with, but this episode just breaks every single, like, structure of a SpongeBob episode, and it's to its benefit in every single merit. This is by far one of the most interesting and captivating not videos, it's a Krusty Krab training video, but episode is what I meant to say. And just like, it's such meta humor, it's so funny, especially, you know, as someone who, you know, now that I'm old enough to actually work jobs and have seen different training videos, it's just so funny, and it's so accurate at just how goofy it is. Like, common sense questions. Do you think this man is going to order a sofa, or like whatever the fuck he says, or a Krabby Patty? And then like, it's like, obviously he's gonna order a fucking Krabby Patty. Like, it's just so obvious dumb shit. And just the narrator the whole time talking like so serious, I just saying the goofiest shit. The when he's like bringing in the Krabby Patty, that part's so funny. There's a lot of hoopla. There's so many iconic, funny, like quotable just memes from this episode. Squidward sitting there waiting for, well, first of all, Squidward this whole episode is just getting shit on. There's a name for employees like this, but for the sake, we'll call him Squidward. And just Squidward is just slacking in every single clip. And then Squidward tries to lock in and like actually be a good employee. And Patrick is just the dumbest fucking customer. Fucking Squidward starts smashing his face on the register. It's so funny. And just, it really does show, like, SpongeBob. I think this is, like, one of the first episodes in the canon. Like, this is what SpongeBob had to go through when he first got the job, maybe. And just, like, him having to learn how to do all this stuff. SpongeBob really wants to get to the formula, make the Krabby Patty. Now, calm it, eager McBeaver. First, we have to go over personal hygiene. Now that's what I call thorough. Like, there's just so many good gags here. You can just tell how different this episode is just based off like the title card right now. It's just such a good episode in terms of jokes, gags. Has the backstory of Mr. Krabs taking a retirement community, whatever the fuck, nursing home, that's what I was trying to think of, and making it into or not a nursing home, but you know, whatever the fuck old people just be doing when they're old people, I don't know. But he turned it from the Rusty Krab to the Krusty Krab. There you go. And you know, after the war, we get into some lore that he was in a fucking war, which is the first time that it's been mentioned throughout the show. And just overall, it's just such a good episode, such a fire episode. The best episode from season 3, coming in at number 3, bronze place spot. Like I said, bronze medal, Krusty Krab training video, baby. Coming in at the silver place spot, we got Band Geeks. Really, what can I say about Band Geeks? I mean, it's generally regarded as the best all-around SpongeBob episode of all time, and I think the community can all come to an agreement and say, yeah, Band Geeks is the best episode. Even though it's not my number one, obviously, I think everybody can go ahead and agree, like, yeah, Band Geeks it's Band Geeks. I mean, what can you say? It's 11 minutes straight of fire gags, fire character development, fire plot, and it ends with one of the best SpongeBob songs ever. Now, the reason I don't say it is the best SpongeBob song is because it's not actually a SpongeBob song. It's a real song. They didn't make it for the show. That's why I liked Rip Pants more. But as a song, this is by far the best song in SpongeBob, and it's not even close. Sweet Victory is amazing. And just the whole performance at the Bubble Bowl, Squilliam being an asshole to Squidward, all the gags in the band room, in the whatever building he rented out, that dingy ass building. Sandy beating up Patrick. Who's the owner of the white sedan? You left your lights on. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Too bad that didn't kill me. A 1, a 2, a skeleton. Like, there's just it's such an iconic episode, by far the most iconic episode of the show, one of the best episodes of the show. So many, I mean, this episode's been talked about enough. Everybody kind of collectively agrees on this episode, so I really don't need to waste more time than I need to. Band Geeks is just fucking Band Geeks. Coming in at number 1, the tippy top of the list, the gold place spot, we have Graveyard Shift, my favorite episode of any show of all time. Just this entire episode is just front to back a 10 out of 10 in every single category. Setting an atmosphere, characterization, jokes, like visual gags, like the plot, the ending, the twists, like it's just everything about this episode is so fire. If you don't remember Graveyard Shift, I don't know how you couldn't, but this is the one where Squidward and SpongeBob are working the night shift, and Squidward makes up that story about the killer, and then the killer ends up being real. The hash-slinging slasher. The phone will ring and nobody will be there. And the bus, the lights, the walls leaking green, oozing slime. Oh, wait, they always do that. And then just the ending gag of this episode. It's so scary and creepy, but it's so memorable. And as an adult, it's so funny. The idea that Count Orlok from Nosferatu, the scary-ass vampire, was in the Krusty Krab the whole time. And they're totally fine with Count Orlok, but this fake scary monster that they invented themselves, that's what they're over here scared about. Meanwhile, this killer vampire is in the restaurant the entire time. It's such a good, funny gag. It's so fucking funny. And then, like, of course, the SpongeBob at night, taking out the trash at night. Ow, I just burned my hand! At night. Night. And then just the whole story, the whole delivery of Squidward's like monologue, like that's like the longest I think Squidward has ever got screen time just talking straight up without any interruptions. I mean, except for that one dude, I think he comes and asks for like ketchup or something, like, yeah, here you go. Like, yeah, here you go. And then just goes right back into telling his story. He opens the door. He comes closer, and then he gets ya. And then SpongeBob's so scared. SpongeBob's over there eating his own arms, just rebutting his arms, because SpongeBob can rebud. So that's a pretty cool, like a little funny little gag there. It's just overall the aesthetics, the vibes of Graveyard Shift, very similar to Rock Bottom. And so when you see me put Rock Bottom up high, you just knew Graveyard Shift was coming. Or if you use Process of Elimination and seen that, I haven't put it here yet. But yeah, no, Graveyard Shift is just a banger. And I love how it uses 4 separate acts. So the first act is Mr. Krabs being a greedy bitch, like, hey, you guys, you're not going home. You guys are staying here. And there's the whole gag of like, they're forced to work up mandatory overtime pretty much. Like their shifts are just completely fucked now. Now they can never go home. And then the second act of the episode is like SpongeBob just fucking around at night, liking night, and then starting to get a little creeped out. The third act is Squidward making up this goofy ass story. And then of course the fourth act is the ending with the stuff actually coming true. And it's just such a good payoff and execution. It's so good. It just builds on top of each other. The characterization is 10 out of 10. It's the best Squidward versus SpongeBob episode. Like Squidward trying to be a nuisance. SpongeBob just kind of not really minding his own business, but he also kind of was. Like he really wasn't trying to fuck with Squidward, but he also kind of was. I mean, dude was circling around Squidward, yelling in his ear, but he wasn't doing it on purpose. Meanwhile, Squidward's over here maliciously trying to plot against SpongeBob, and then the whole time he's scaring himself. It's just an incredible episode. Oh, it's the hash-slinging, the clash-blinging, the rash with the hash-slinging slasher. It's like two things, SpongeBob. 1, I hate you. And 2, how can that be me if I'm right here? And then he starts scaring. Starts getting scared. Squidward admits he actually kind of likes SpongeBob. It's a really good ending. I like to work. I like to put in a job application. It's just this random dude that just is never seen again. It's just just a fantastic episode. And with that comes the end of the big, grand SpongeBob ranking. I want everyone to know who's watching this that you are important, you are valuable, and you are significant. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. SpongeBob means a lot to me, and so being able to do this big Christmas special for this show and go in depth into all these episodes really has meant a lot to me. I hope to catch you guys next time for next week's episode, but if not, this is the drop-off. Take care.